The Ultimate Universe was an experiment that was born out of a need for Marvel Comics to usurp DC, who had taken the lead from them for the first time in decades in sales, and help them get out of bankruptcy selling furniture in order to avoid being a defunct company. The Ultimate Universe changed the game for Marvel Comics, changed the game for the industry of comics, and ushered in some of the books that we are still talking about today as some of the best comics of all time. What it also did was it gave us, arguably, although in my opinion, inarguably, Marvel's worst event ever. Yes, today we are talking about Ultimatum, the greatest sin of the original Ultimate Universe. We're going to talk about it, warts and all, and get into the era of the Ultimate Universe that really is what killed it, even if it would go on for a few years after that. Here to have this conversation with me, as always, are Marco.
Celsius.
There you go. Tyler.
I thought he finally forgot his catchphrase,
Huh?
and my ears would be, survive the Saturday morning. But there's Marco.
And joining us to have this conversation about Ultimatum is phenomenal artist and friend of the Comics Pals, Pete Collins. Pete, how are you doing?
Good insert catchphrase here.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, dude. It's I'm really excited to have you on for this conversation. And I do want to apologize to you because I invited you on to talk about the Ultimate Universe, which is very exciting, but you did have to reread Ultimatum for this episode.
Ooh, yeah, I dusted off my trades. I have all of that in trade form. So I've got all the Ultimates 3, the Ultimatum, even Death of Spider-Man. So I dusted those off, and it was fun at first, right? It quickly became not so fun. But I don't know. I still enjoyed it. There's a lot of good art in there.
So where did you start? Well, where was it fun? Did you start with Ultimates 3?
I started with Ultimates 3, and I love Joe Mad. I was in my day, I was big into, Battle Chasers and hopeful that it would come back, earlier than it did, I guess. I loved his X-Men stuff. So jumping into Ultimates 3, I thought that the art was fantastic. It was great. It was exciting. It was different. And then it just fell apart, the colors are fantastic. So props on that. But yeah.
Shout out to your colorist.
Yeah. Colorist make the art happen.
Atomic Hound with a message for you, Pete, says, thanks so much for the Bardic Verses, the best music theme comic ever.
I appreciate that. I do.
By the way, go out and buy a copy of the Bardic Verses. It's a really fun comic. Pete worked on it with Matt Sumo, who's been on this podcast before as well. Two good guys making good comics. Check it out.
Yeah, we got a lot of fun stuff in the pipeline too. Nothing I can talk about, but we've got some fun things planned for the next year.
And that's the kind of friend to the show that Pete is. He's not even here necessarily to promote anything. He's just here to hang out with the pals, talk comics. So let's do it, shall we? Last week, we left you guys at a place where Ultimates 2 has come out. It has done okay, but it took 3 years to release in full. 13 issues over 3 years is not good at the big two. That is really bad. Frankly, it's kind of bad anywhere. But when you're the big two, when you have huge expectations of these books, can't have it. So, enter Jeff Loeb. They brought Jeff Loeb on, Joe Quesada did, after Mark Miller was removed from the project of Ultimates 3, which was always going to happen. The book that and decided that the Ultimate Universe needed a shakeup because sales were not as high as they had been. You have books like Ultimate Spider-Man that are still doing what they're doing, Ultimate X-Men, they're doing all right, but Joe feels like they can get more out of these books. Civil War has been a huge success. Avengers Disassembled, Secret War on the DC side. You have Infinite Crisis. You have these events that have really been killing it, and so Joe decides it's time for an event in the Ultimate Universe. He also feels that there are a lot of characters in the Ultimate Universe that have been introduced over the last 8 years and not a lot to do with them because they're only ever going to publish so many books in this space, and ultimatizing characters has gotten a little stale. At first, it was super exciting, all these differences and changes, but the longer things went on, you're looking at these characters and you're kind of going, "What's the difference between this guy and mainline guy?"
Hmm.
So Joe Quesada decides he wants to shake things up and call the universe.
Oof. Shaking a baby, dude.
Oh God, Jesus.
It does feel like Ultimatum had shaken baby syndrome, though. So
I feel like I do after reading it. Um, uh, so he gives Jeff Loeb that edict, and his responsibility in Ultimates 3 is to tee up the event that is to come. So, Ultimates 3, Jeff Loeb, Joe Mad, we talked about it a little bit last week. This was the first time in about a decade, I think. Maybe I'm off, but it's been a while since Joe Mad has done Marvel comic interiors by this point. I remember personally being super excited to see his artwork because I had never seen him before. And when they released the preview images, I was like, oh shit, who is this? This is crazy. Pete, I know you
Yeah.
said you, yeah.
Yeah. His art, I really enjoyed his X-Men run. That was, a very big collecting time for me. I was excited when he jumped into the Ultimates, especially when they started showing like the little previews, Black Panther punching Venom, and the Wolverine stuff. Like that was exciting to me, and certainly I think he does an effective job. He's a master of his craft. The art is good uh, and consistent, I would say. But there are certain panels that I think kind of veer into, that maybe over sexualized characters like Scarlet Witch, or her mother when it gets to that point in the story, that felt wrong. Just especially in that art style, it just didn't feel good. But on the art front, I can't complain too much. The colors are fantastic. The lines are good. I think that was one of the first books where I really saw a coloring approach where it was almost fuzzy or hazy around certain edges of
Yeah.
like a character's arm or something, just to kind of really convey a sense of motion, or some 3D type of effect. It added depth, I guess is what I'm getting at. On the art front, there wasn't much to complain about, I feel.
Yeah.
I didn't read all of Ultimates 3, but I did skim through it because you woof. But the art, it has almost like a filter over it
Yeah.
throughout
Yeah.
this that really kind of like, I guess thematically I can see why this almost sepia filter that's kind of over this whole world in Ultimates 3 is like a way of muting those bright primary colors that you would get in a mainline book, and maybe
Yeah,
being like, oh, this is ultimate coloring. Do you know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
so I thought that was an interesting choice, but yeah, the art is wildly different from Hitch.
Yeah, and it seemed like there were certain chunks of the book of the respective issues where there was like overlaid primaries, right? Like you'd have orange over certain panels, and then that didn't necessarily like jive with a moment. right? Like they weren't trying to convey action, but like, hey, there's orange over all of the colors here.
It's like
You
on
know,
Photoshop. You just put on an orange thing and then you turn
yeah,
overlay and
yeah, that was it.
opacity down. Yeah.
No.
Sean, you're muted.
Sorry about that. Strike one. Ultimates 3 debuted, issue 1 debuted at number 1 in December of 2007. It sold 131,000 copies, which at this point in time was good enough for the number 1 slot in sales. Does anybody want to take a shot in the dark and guess what number 2 was? This is a major comic book.
Number 2 was on the list of like the top whatever?
Yes.
So number 1 was 1. Number 2, I'm gonna go and say 10. I think it's gonna be a steep drop.
No. Sorry. What number 2 was on this list of top books in this month?
Right, that same month.
Oh, in the same month.
I still say it's probably like we're coming. Well, actually, hold on. Oh no, Civil War would have like wrapped up already.
Yep.
Some sort of cap issue.
No.
Damn.
Nobody? All right.
Nothing.
It's the finale of the One More Day arc in Amazing Spider-Man.
Oh.
Makes sense.
Big fan favorite, that one.
Man.
I remember this cover, man. And the crazy thing about this cover is that nowhere on it does it say the name J. Michael Straczynski. Notably asked for his name to be removed from these books because he was not telling the story he wanted to tell. He was telling the story he was dictated to tell.
Damn.
But
what a rough month for Marvel fans. Holy crap.
So Ultimatum number 1 drops and it does, pretty well. It's number 1 in sales. You really can't do better than that. So congratulations to them for that. Number 2 of Ultimates number 3 is the 7th best-selling title of January, and the decline continues from there. February is it's number 5, so it's kind of floating in that space. But it would continue to slide as things went on. I remember Ultimates 3 being shockingly bad. Like, at this point in time, Jeff Loeb is considered to be one of the best writers in comics. He has done Hush, which was beloved at the time. A lot of people like to speak negatively about Hush now, but regardless of what you say today, when Hush came out, that was a massive deal. And not just because of Jim Lee. You're also talking about the guy who was doing the Color series, which was beloved. We're still talking about Spider-Man Blue, and all those other books. So Jeff Loeb coming on this, to me at that time, was, wow, we're going to class up the Ultimates.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's a fair assumption, right? I mean, he did Batman, Superman.
Yeah.
Like that initial arc with McGinnis is one of my favorites. He all the stuff he's done with Tim Sale. I think you're right. Yeah, like that's a fair assumption. This place is about to get classed up.
Yeah,
totally.
Instead, it got assed up.
Yeah,
literally the first page
ass on the screen
is Scarlet Witch and Tony Stark's sex tape. Like, what? It reads like a parody of what Miller was already doing. And that's why I set up last week's episode by talking about hope versus nihilism, because Jeff Loeb clearly chose a side. He's not writing about hope. He's not writing necessarily strictly overtly about nihilism either, but it's hard to argue against that when you consider all of the death and all of the lack of hope in those books. Jeff Loeb and Joe Quesada look at what Mark Miller was doing, and from a number standpoint, say, oh, this is working. Continue down this path. And Jeff Loeb takes his marching orders, but not just that. He clearly only reads the Ultimates, doesn't read anything else, and assumes that those characterizations are exactly who these characters are. He turns them up a little bit and off to the races with one of the worst stories in the Ultimate Universe. Ultimates 3 is really, really bad.
But Sean,
I think
it has dinosaurs in it though.
I I was literally going to bring up that point. I feel like it goes into it tries for shock. It tries to kind of surprise the reader. Obviously, the first page. But then you have moments like the dinosaur. You have clashes between characters. Pete mentioned earlier a lot of sexualization of
A lot.
characters.
And dinosaurs.
And
Wait, they
lots of
sexualized the
ass.
dinosaurs? I didn't read all the book, so.
Is that just me? All right,
Okay.
maybe it was just me.
But the number of like ass shot TNA that's kind of like all around, I think.
Yeah.
And with Joe Mad, the like hyper like masculinity of like muscles on muscles, I
Mm.
think is prominent and probably a carryover from the 90s pushing here, right? So like you're pushing that kind of familiarity within it as well.
And that's Joe Mad's style. And reading it or seeing it at that time, I was like, cool. They're just bringing on a guy who knows how to do muscled up people to draw some sick action, not thinking that
Yeah.
the actual words would be that vapid. And Black Widow being the subject of the sex tape is particularly disgusting because in the book she's already dead.
Right. Yep.
So the last time we see her is there, which I don't know what Jeff Loeb was thinking about. But something is happening in Jeff Loeb's life at this time that I think I don't know if it's fair to say. I don't know Jeff Loeb. I've never spoken to him. Don't know his inner thoughts. But I do know that around this time, his family suffered a tragedy in that his son passed. And I know that, that would affect any person, any father, very, very deeply. And so, I don't know how much to attribute to that fact, but his writing was off the wall. His son died in 2005 after a battle with bone cancer. I can only imagine how devastating that is. I am not interested in trivializing that in any way. But something changed, in my opinion, when it
Oh,
comes to Jeff Loeb.
for sure. I mean, like this is the same person that wrote, Superman for All Seasons and Batman the Long Halloween, right? Like this,
Yeah.
and if you didn't know that and you read Ultimates 3, you would think they're entirely different writers, entirely different. It's an entirely different class of story, right? Like there's all the smut and the edge lording and all of the just unnecessary twists for shock. Like that's not Jeff Loeb to me. Um, it almost seems intentional, right? Like he came in to do a job to put a bullet in the Ultimate Universe to a degree. But
we got a VI Pals membership here for the Emancipating Poet with a question saying, "Good morning, folks. Quick question. So was this the Ultimate Universe before the current Marvel Ultimate Universe?"
Yes.
Hashtag the Ultimates. Yes. Yes, this is OG Ultimate Universe. And the way, on the subject of Jeff Loeb, like I think later on he does Nova with Ed McGuinness, and I think that's a much better representation of him as a writer and as a response to stuff that happened to him in real life. But this Ultimates feels like he heard a joke from Mark Miller and just didn't know how to do the delivery.
that's fair.
Mark Miller did shocking things, but it didn't feel like shock value. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Whereas this feels like, oh, that was all shock value. And even Joe Mad could be a good a good artist to play in this if the joke was said correctly.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's your coworker who tries to make a joke during the meeting and it just flops.
Hmm.
And yeah, I'm usually that coworker, but
By the way, just want to let you all know that super chats are open. We will be spinning the wheel that you can see in Tyler's background for every $10 or more super chat that we get. And I am now setting the goal for us to be able to play the GOAT game a little bit later on.
update
Hopefully,
update for the goat game though. It's now 300 different characters we could be talking about.
Holy shit.
I doubled the output last night. So now it's not just DC characters, there are Marvel characters in there. So you Marvel heads, we're talking about Ultimate stuff. We could maybe hear Marco have to defend, I don't know, Mephisto. That's a spoiler for one character in there.
cool.
Joy.
So yeah, look, Jeff Loeb had a tragedy in his life. I had a tragedy in my life. I had to read Ultimates 3. And then in 2008, he teamed up with David Finch for Ultimatum. Uh huh, man. Man, oh man, oh man. A lot of people have shared their thoughts about how bad Ultimatum is. Um, Comic Tropes said Ultimatum was, quote, mean spirited and uniquely terrible. I thought that was a brilliant a brilliant way to speak on that. IGN said Ultimatum is one of the worst comics I've ever read. The industry was supposed to have moved beyond flashy, soulless material like this years ago. If I feel any excitement for Ultimate Avengers and everything to come, it will be in spite of what I have read over the past 8 months. Uh that is damning.
Scald.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
back when
absolutely.
IGN did a lot of comic book coverage too.
Mm-hmm. David Finch, for his part, was told by Joe Quesada to kill, quote, kill everyone in the Ultimate Universe. So again, this was the plan. This is what they wanted. So you can't put the blame on Jeff Loeb and David Finch for the amount of murder in Ultimatum. That was what they asked for. And so they got what they asked for. Uh, Ultimatum #1 would drop. That dropped in. Where are we? That dropped in 2009, January. No, sorry, no, it dropped in November of 2008. It debuted at #1, 114,000 copies sold. Outsold Batman, which was the #2 best-selling book, and Hulk, which was the #3 best-selling book. And this Ultimatum would not stay a great selling book. #2 drops to the #10 slot, and on and on and on. People could tell right away from the first issue that this was going to be a fucking disaster.
It's interesting because it it doesn't feel like it immediately starts out this way. I think there's some jank to it, in that I in reading it, I had to kind of remember where all the pieces are, right? And this is also progressed in some of these books well in advance. So certain character interactions, like Kitty being with Spider-Man, or in interacting with Spider-Man, Gwen being there, like I hadn't touched that quite yet in the Ultimate Spider-Man pieces that I ran or read, and so I think it sets the scene, but things kick off so quickly that it's, from a pacing standpoint, it can be a little overwhelming, because there's different figures and different things happening all at the same time.
Yeah, way too fast. Way too fast. Pacing is certainly an issue, and in pro wrestling, right? Like wrestlers try to like absorb the moment, let the fans react, right? And that's what makes iconic moments, like when two wrestlers are in the middle of the ring staring off at each other, right? This book does not allow for those kinds of moments, right? Like Wasp gets bitten. Now we're on to this guy getting an arrow in the eye. Now we're on to this person exploding. It's too much, too fast. So those moments hold so little impact. And then it's just, you're losing what you would hope to gain from the shock and awe of a situation, and it's just gore for gore.
The
Um,
the thing that jumps out to me, and you're right about the pacing, is issue one. The whole premise is that the world is flooded in the opening act of this. So it starts raining, and by 3 pages later, the thing is preventing a blue whale from entering a building. Like,
Yeah.
like that's how quickly things just progressed. It went from just starting to rain to, oh, New York City is already completely underwater.
yeah.
Well, just on the second page of this book, like you can immediately see, even if you've read nothing else, you can immediately see that Jeff Loeb thinks that every single one of these characters is one thing and one thing only. Iron Man, immediately, first line of dialogue. I wonder how practical it would be to take a bath in a martini. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Man has issues, man.
Immediately, Captain America's a Boy Scout. Maybe we should go on patrol instead of waiting for the next disaster to hit us, Tony. When do the Ultimates go on patrol?
Do they?
No, of course not. They never do that. The Ultimates are a government-sponsored team. They go on patrol. What are they, Spider-Man?
Iron Man's drunk half the time, so.
Right. Then the next panel, Thor, he says, better, verily, thy skills have improved tenfold, Valkyrie, when the version of Mark Miller's store does not even really talk like this. Like
Yeah.
this, like he's such a caricature. And then what does Valkyrie say? You should see me in bed, Thor. Very verily.
Very verily.
Very verily.
I don't even think that's how you use that.
And by the way, why would she say that? They've already been having sex since Ultimates 3.
Right.
It's just him making sure you understand that this is all these characters get to be. The next panel with Hawkeye and Hank Pym and Wasp, same shit. Jeff Loeb has put these characters in a box. He knows one thing about them, and he's going to play on that thing every single time you see them, and that's all he's going to do. This book is insanely bad, and like it's impossible to underscore it enough. Like there's nothing redeeming here other than David Finch's art, which I feel like, even though this is great David Finch, one of the things that I think all of us appreciate about a good comic is the good pacing from a page and panel standpoint. And this doesn't even give you that.
No, not at all. Not at all. I love David Finch. Always have. And I'm kind of thankful that this book didn't somehow end his career because it could have, right? Like this book is just gore for the sake of gore. There's some crazy visuals in this that are just super inappropriate even. And this could have been one of those things that like puts a nail in the coffin of a career. And I appreciate that didn't happen because he is such a talent. And I was listening to you guys while I was reading Ultimatum actually, and Tyler said something. I think this was on Thursday. He said the term hate read, and I found that while he was saying that, that's what I was doing for this book. I was hate reading this book, and for as much as I love Finch's art, like it didn't bring out joy, you know. Um, it's that bad. It is that bad.
It's interesting to see how his art has changed and developed because recently we had him on to for an interview. We were talking about Skin Breakers, his new book with Robert Kirkman, and um when he has time, the level of detail is crazy.
Yeah.
And I think here he still does stuff with like the body. He still does, really cool panels and really cool like positions for characters, but the faces I felt like were the biggest thing in this that I had issue with. And I think he made mention that he was on the interview that he was never that strong with it. So it's interesting to see how here that was one of the pieces that I had uh kind of immediately called out. Even on issue 2, the cover, Captain America's face, his eyes are all bulgy, stuff looks wonky. And so it was it's crazy to see how I imagine under like tight pressure, he can render everything in the background and the foreground for characters, but like there are small details that you end up missing.
Issue one. Go ahead. Sorry.
I was gonna say I generally like the art. I think it's the only thing that makes this readable.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Issue one ends with everybody, being told by Professor Xavier, like, "Hey, Magneto did this," and then you see a page of Magneto looking like a final boss. He's
Word.
sitting in that seat, looking godlike, with Thor's hammer sitting there with him. And that is crazy, right? Like in the Ultimate Universe, Thor's hammer is not magically like tethered to him, so it makes sense that Magneto could have it. The problem is that he never uses it for anything cool. Why would you give Magneto Thor's hammer and then he uses it one time and it's not even a big deal? Like that's the kind of thing that's just like you set up this cool visual, but you only let it be that. It's not actually anything story related whatsoever.
It's
Yeah,
fun.
it is such a cool visual too.
It's funny because Magneto is also in the Goat game, but I was looking up images for Magneto, and so many of them are from Ultimatum. If you just search Magneto and you go to like large in a Google image search, a lot of them are David Finch's Magneto. And it's a shame. Like Sean, can you, I guess, learn me here? Mjolnir in the Ultimate Universe, I thought he had that other one, the other Ultimate Hammer.
I don't remember anything about another hammer. He has a sword and this hammer, but I don't remember another hammer.
I thought the original Ultimate one had similar to like Beta Ray Bills or like an Ultimate version. It was almost like an X.
Yeah, it was like an axe hammer kind of thing,
Right.
like
Oh yeah,
Stormbreaker kind of
Yeah,
thing.
that's why when I saw Mjolnir, I was like, I didn't even know Ultimate Thor had one of those.
right. Yeah, I don't
I
remember
th-
what happened to that.
I think that was just like a if I'm not mistaken, a subtle like unfleshed out kind of swap in Ultimates 3. Like there's like one small panel on a page where he walks up to a wall that's got, Asgardian weapons and he's just like, I'll take this one. And he grabs standard looking Mjolnir instead of the other one. And it's like, cool, just no need to call that out in story.
That's an
Just
even stupider
yes.
reasoning than I expected.
I was
Yeah.
like, wow, yeah, I guess there should be like I should know the answer to that, but I don't. And there you go. Like
Yeah. It's like a small panel too, like tiny.
Matt Fisher with the 4.99 saying sup. Thank you so much, Matt Fisher. Sup right back to you.
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah. Now, when Ultimatum issue one ends, the tagline for the next issue says, "Next, it gets worse." Now, that's a threat in the context of this book and a promise because Marco's right. Issue one um, is not the most egregious part of this series by any means. If you only read issue one and you said, you know what, I'm done, I'm good, I got enough, you got the best part of the book because it is hellaciously bad from here. Um, the next issue is a doozy. Everybody goes on their separate missions to try to save the world, save people who are relevant to them. Thor goes and faces off with Hela's horde of the undead to save Valkyrie's life. And for some unexplained reason, unless I missed it, Captain America falls into a coma and ends up in hell to help Thor fight these undead
Yep.
out of nowhere.
Contrivance. Like he was just there, and it's funny because they mention it. He uh Tony saves him. He says like a few words and then passes out. Yeah, yeah, I have no idea.
How many times have you read a story or seen a movie? It's like seen a story play out in your life where something happens that is just completely unexplained, like no logic behind it at all.
The page two is like so Thor is fighting these undead, which really cool visual from Finch. Like his zombies, real cool. So Thor's fighting them, and then Cap's shield comes out of nowhere, chops off a zombie's arms, and then Thor says, "Captain, where here? How is it possible?" And then Cap says, "I don't know. We'll figure it out when this is over."
Spoiler alert, it was never figured out. It's just shit like that, man. That's like Jeff Loeb is I don't think of him this way. Even today, like, did Ultimatum affect the way I think about Jeff Loeb? Yes, especially at that time. He was persona non grata for me. Like I tried Red Hulk and I was angry at myself for giving him a second chance because I hated that too. And I don't think I read another Jeff Loeb anything until here recently with the last Halloween, and unfortunately with Batman fucking Hush too. You want to talk about a book that really damaged somebody's perception? Jeff Loeb was damaged by this.
Big time. Big time.
I'm an apologist for that Red Hulk run, so I can't speak. I really enjoyed that.
Well, Matt Fisher speaks, and he dropped two more super chats on us, both at $4.99. This event is not what ended the Ultimate Universe, not counting Wasp. They could have recovered from this, but outside of Bendis and Miles, there was zero direction. I don't know if I agree that there was no direction. I think there was direction. And this event wasn't made to kill the Ultimate Universe. It was made to meaningfully differentiate it once again from mainline. Because by this point in time, if you're reading Ultimate Comics, you know that even though there are still really good stories here, especially in the Ultimate Spider-Man space, a lot of it feels like it's spinning its wheels, and the Ultimate Tides versions just don't feel that different. So they wanted to create a meaningfully different world by culling much of the cast and forcing the new creative teams to use different characters and figure out different paths to go down. So I'm fine with that concept. I don't have a problem with that concept. The execution is really disgusting. One of the things that I saw a lot of people say as I was researching for this was that this felt disrespectful.
Yeah.
It feels like a comic book company slapping you in the face. And frankly, it's characters.
And people have had invested time in this world for years. You know, varying degrees of success and quality. But these are some people's versions of that character.
I think there's a level of like creative consolidation that is valid, right? You want to be able to focus the line again because it has gotten that expansive. And so it's an interesting approach. I think you're right. It helps to differentiate because in this world there's finality. We're not going to have this roundabout way to suddenly bring back Wasp, even though Hank tried seemingly. But it's not going to be. And I think there's a balance of like shock, and you could have been more strategic with the characters that end up dying, or even putting them off the board. Like, what if they just retire? Like, this is such a different world. You didn't have to go to this extreme, but that's also what the Ultimate books were about, right? Going to that edge.
Yes, for sure. At least the ones that Mark Miller was writing. And that's the problem. The Ultimate Universe is of two minds, and they don't go together. Like, if Bendis were tasked with writing Ultimatum, it wouldn't have been like this. I don't care what the edict was from higher up. It wouldn't have happened like this.
And it didn't in the tie-ins.
Right.
You know, we talked last week. Gavin mentioned those imminent issues where he's dealing with the flood are some of the best Spider-Man issues he's had, and that was about saving the people. You know, I didn't read it, but I at least have an idea of the vibe of it all. And it's not what Ultimatum's doing. Ultimatum doesn't give a shit about the people that are happening or that's killing in the book.
So when I went through my reread for this, my trade is just the Ultimatum main issues, right? Like, so there's none of the tie-ins. And I had remembered that call out. So I went back through my collection and I dug out, I had that issue, Ultimate Spider-Man 130, which is like the Ultimatum tie-in. And it's just him going around saving people through the flood. And there's this really, really cool portion of the story where like J. Jonah Jameson is seeing this and like has to admit Spider-Man's a hero. Awesome. That is a great moment and totally doesn't vibe well with what Ultimatum itself was. You know, the best part of to me, it's the best part of Ultimatum, and it isn't even part of the main event. You know,
And again, um, you know, at this point, and this is supposition, I've never seen Brian Michael Bendis say this. I personally believe that outside of Ultimate Spider-Man, he was checked out of this space. I think that he pretty early on recognizes that this is Mark Miller's sandbox because of how successful the Ultimates were, and that he just doesn't have stroke. Mainline Marvel is where by this point he's a god. So his focus is all on that stuff. New Avengers, Secret Invasion is on the horizon. Like, he's doing big stuff over there. So Miller got his way, and the extension of that is Jeff Loeb, and what we get here. Ultimatum issue 2 is a vile comic. Hawkeye happens upon the Blob eating the Wasp, eating her. This isn't The Walking Dead.
I have the panel. Can I put that on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's gross. Like, I've heard of being a munch, but come on, Blob.
No,
that's a little much.
That page turn, I stopped and stood there for a second because I did not know that was going to happen. So I'm reading this. I flipped to that page. Like for what it's worth, it worked. It stopped me in my tracks. I had to sit there with it. So from that end, I think cool, kudos, you did it. You did the thing. But now this has implications for how I feel about the rest of the series, because now I'm thinking not necessarily, oh, everybody's at risk, but oh damn, what the fuck? That's not cool. Now who else might they do this in a way that feels a bit tasteless?
Because it's not that she dies, it's how. Like, if, let's say, Wasp died in an explosion.
Sure.
Or like, this would be kind of fucked, but like, let's say Wasp flew and Blob grabs her with his hand and she is crushed in his hand. Whatever you want to do, but this moment is just disgusting. It's only there to have the effect that it had on Marco.
Yeah.
And like, it doesn't serve the story. It doesn't advance the plot. It's not even fridging because it doesn't really meaningfully change Hank Pym's life. He eats Blob's head off, which is disgusting. You just become a cannibal too. But like, it doesn't do anything.
It's off panel. The worst sin.
Yeah. There's a couple kills that are off panel in this too. You just see them dead.
or partially off panel, like 2 pages or so after Blob, eats up the Wasp. Magneto snaps Professor X's neck in
Right.
kind of a weird partial off panel moment. Like you see the top of Chuck's head and there's a snap SFX. And that's like that could have been its own moment,
Right.
and it again the pacing, right? Like here's something to shock you. Here's a literally 1 page turn. There's another one, you know. That's
Doesn't let you sit with anything in this book.
yeah, nothing
Yeah.
nothing simmers.
And
Nothing
I think
simmers.
maybe 2 issues after or 2 pages after, you see like Nightcrawler just dead.
Yeah. Just
Yeah.
there.
Well, if you wanted the total tally of who's dead, I've got that.
Oh,
To the
Now, is
back
this
of the
just in this book or throughout the event entirely?
This is throughout the totality of the event. So there were 34 deaths, I believe is the final number. And I've
whoa.
got every single one of them right here. Angel was killed and partially eaten by Sabretooth. So another cannibal. Beast drowned. Blob obviously got his head bitten off. Cannonball was blown up by the multiple man. Cyclops gets shot in the head at the end of this book, which we see. Daredevil is just found dead in Ultimate Spider-Man. Like,
Oh yeah.
you don't even know what happened. He's just found dead. Dazzler drowned. Detonator was tortured and killed. Nice. The death that hit me the hardest and that really turned me off from this book, even now today, when I came upon it, I had to stop and look away because it was just too nasty. Doctor Strange.
Oh yeah.
That was
Oh
horrible. Horrible. He faces all, and this is the kind of death where it's like, Jeff, you don't believe in good anymore. Like you should not, you should take a beat. You should not be writing superhero comics because a typical encounter, Doctor Strange versus Dormammu, sure. Nothing about that suggests that Doctor Strange was like underpowered or anything. It's a routine fight. He just loses. And not only does he lose, but he gets his fucking scarf or whatever, or his cape wrapped around his neck to the point where his head explodes.
Yeah.
What?
Grossly rendered too, looking like
Yeah.
it's from Big Trouble in Little China.
His head went purple and then he just explodes. Like, you don't believe in good, man. That's not superhero stories to me. Like he just Doctor Strange just loses and dies to one of his typical villains. I don't know.
What did they have to do with Ultimatum? Like
Nothing.
Why was Dormammu there?
Right, yeah.
It's like one of those like Family Guy bits where it's like, remember that time, or they just cut away to something else that's happening.
yeah.
We can't underscore enough how disgusting it is. I mean, I can continue with this list of deaths. Emma Frost blown up, Forge tortured and killed, Franklin Storm died in the wave. Franklin Storm, nice. Hard Drive dies in the Savage Land. Hank Pym died in an explosion. Juggernaut gets hit in the eye by a poisonous dart by a sentinel.
That's right.
I guess something can stop the Juggernaut.
Long Shot killed. Thor surrendered his soul. All that Cap and Thor went through to save Valkyrie, and Thor just has to sacrifice his soul to Hela in order to save Valkyrie ultimately. Okay. All right.
Cool.
Uh
Which and to that, like, there was an attempt at oh, what should we do? What's the right thing to do? But then you remember that he was placed there for convenience sake, like to artificially make that decision feel like it was meaningful and worth something.
right. Yeah, exactly. And it's worth nothing. Just like this book. And it's because of the way that these murders happen and they just like the book. They're not. You don't take a beat and go, "Wow, oh my god, I can't believe that Doctor Strange is dead and so sad and horrible." Nah, it just continues on. Like these moments aren't paced well. They're not placed well. Just stuff happening. Like there's no creative thought behind even the way to showcase this stuff.
They should have just rebooted at this point. Like, if you were that worried with how similar this universe is to your mainline one, just reboot it. Why are you gonna just go through this whole rigmarole to kill off a whole bunch of characters and piss people off? Do you think a reboot would have pissed people off less?
I don't think a reboot was required. I think that there is a creative way to get to the place they wanted to get, which was less of the same old people. All right. They got fucking sucked away to Battle World. Some other planet. I don't know. Like there's a lot of things that you can do to get these characters off the board that doesn't involve mercilessly killing them like this.
Yeah, I think part of the issue they were trying to solve for, not that I personally think it's an issue, but I think they were trying to solve for the oversaturation of, all of these ultimate versions of characters that were probably rushed out faster than they needed to be initially. Yeah. And to that point, like the simple solution would have been continue the path of telling your stories through your ongoings, maybe have a couple small events, but just use less characters, right? Like Ultimate Daredevil, he just doesn't need to show up, right? If you got 70 characters in Ultimate X-Men, they just go on a walkabout, right? Like it could have been that simple. Introduce another character down the road that takes on, the moniker of Gateway or Cannonball or whoever you decide to off, and it's just in namesake only. I always felt that the Ultimate Universe had the potential, like I don't think Marvel is mainline Marvel, I should say, has always been welcoming to the idea of legacy characters, right? Like not like DC, right? Like DC, there's different versions of Starman and Wildcat and all of this. And I always thought that the Ultimate Universe could have done that. Like Peter Parker decides to go off to college. I can't be Spider-Man anymore. Passes the mantle over to somebody else. Captain America, hey, I got unfrozen and I need to get some me time in now after all this crazy stuff. Passes the shield off to somebody else. The Ultimate Universe could have been the path for them to try to establish that sense of legacy. Instead, that would have been the better route, right?
But Pete, you know what's so funny about what you just said? Marvel would do exactly that, not even a few years later in mainline.
Exactly.
Unbelievable.
Exactly. Yeah, you're right.
Which also pissed people off, but I guess that was because it was mainline.
Yeah, but had they have done it in the Ultimate Universe,
Right.
I think it would have been more accepted, right? Yeah. Like people would have been open to it. Oh, it's a new idea. Oh, Sam Wilson's Cap, cool. I think that it wouldn't have been hit with the controversy, but I suppose controversy equals cash sometimes. So
sometimes, yes.
Sometimes.
And unfortunately not in this case. I mean,
No.
look at a character, we'll talk about him more next week, but look at a character like Jimmy Hudson, who is like the new Wolverine post Ultimatum.
Yeah.
Jimmy Hudson is one of the only characters to live on beyond their Ultimate Universe version because people really liked him.
Yeah.
Why couldn't they have just done that with more people?
Exactly. It's
very bizarre.
How do you feel about, because I only read this part, I didn't read, or this Ultimatum, I didn't read the Requiem stuff, I didn't read the crossover thing. So the fact that the book did crossover, I felt like in some instances was a detriment because, for example, Peter, in what is issue 4, is helping Hulk smash something, and then he just kind of flashes and vanishes, and then we see his mask, and I'm like,
yeah,
is he dead? Did that happen? Is that how Miles becomes whatever? Like, is it? That's a question. That's a genuine question.
No.
No.
Okay.
No. But it ties back over to the Ultimate Spider-Man issues that tie in, right? Like that,
Right.
you know, Spider-Man's involvement in like the was 5 issues, 6 issues. Like he's there to be there.
Right.
Like he doesn't even need to be in that main story at all.
Remember,
You
we have
know?
a book.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's an advertisement.
God, dreadful. Let's hit a couple super chats we missed. Matt Fisher did drop two on us. The second one was, "What's up with 1X under incursion?" I'll see myself out. You know what, Matt? Don't see yourself out because we love your super chats, but I have nothing to say about any of those books. I am over all of them. All of them. Thank you, Matt. The Game Master says with the 4.99, thank you, but I remember coming across the Wasp image and it forever changed how I view Blob. I cringed when I saw him in X-Men Evolution.
Oh, sure. Okay.
It
Damn.
tainted the Blob's PR.
Did he have good PR before?
I don't know. I mean, he had to retire in Krakoa and just become a bartender, and that was the way they rehabbed him.
Dude, and Blob was gross. He's all pimply and shit. Like, oh. Ugh.
Like me in senior year of high school. Jeez.
Oh,
And Lectrix with the 50 SEK. Great chat, but hope you guys can wrap up with a positive read post this, except Ultimate Spider-Man or Hickman. Um, I mean, look, we're not gonna talk about those books in this episode today. We will talk about them next week. I have very positive feelings about the post Ultimatum Ultimate Universe.
That's when
Yeah.
they rebranded, right? A bit. They had like a new. It was like
Ultimate
new
Comics.
Ultimate Comics. That's what it was. Yeah,
Ultimate
yeah.
Comics.
That's where I jumped into Ultimate Spider-Man. Actually.
Oh, okay.
That was the only time I started reading it, because there was a jumping on point for me.
Yeah. Go ahead, Pete.
I think there's something I'm trying to reach for something positive here, right? Like I've said, Finch's art, is the best thing of the book, in my opinion. Not his strongest, entry at all, but it's good. It's good. It's suitable. Um, in an effort to try to be positive, I think the one thing that I take away from this book is how badass Magneto is. Right, Magneto's one of my favorite characters. Has been for a very long time. I have my helmet around here somewhere, actually. Um, I I always thought that the character had like that really nice confliction. He's a bad guy that thinks he's a good guy. Like all of that stuff. Um, and I think what I appreciated from Ultimatum is him getting an opportunity to really cut loose, right? Like atomizing Wolverine's skeleton, right? Just and why is he doing it, right? He was a crappy father. He treated his kids like shit, but ultimately he's seeking vengeance against the people he holds responsible. I'm a father. I would hold vengeance in that scenario, I suppose. And to see him unleashing to get that vengeance and also put his people on a higher pedestal and to really go all in on his mission statement, that's kind of cool. Again, the story sucks. Story's trash. It's absolute trash. But being that this is Magneto's time to shine, in essence, there is some cool things that come out of that.
I think it looks cool for sure.
It looks cool.
Yeah.
It looks cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think a lot of the gross things in this book are even Magneto related.
No.
Right? Like it's everybody else. Right? Magneto almost seems to be the dude with the moral compass here. I mean, sort of, maybe.
I did kind of like the storytelling device of every final page of each issue being a double page, and a lot of them were like pinup style.
Mm.
Which I thought was like, oh, okay. There's Finch being able to work on some on bigger paper. We talked about it with Skinbreaker when we talked to him, how he's drawing on artboard really for that.
Yeah.
But at least it looks good. I will never fully hate a book if Ultimate Hawkeye is in it because that costume is so cool to me. It's the most edgelord costume ever, but even that can be a silver lining for me.
I agree with what you said, Pete, regarding Magneto, because in the beginning of the Ultimate X-Men, where Miller was writing, Magneto's the first enemy, and it's established there that Magneto has way more power than what you see, and that he has a plan that he's willing to enact that will destroy humanity. This is the result of that. So it feels like long-term storytelling. And if Mark Miller had written this, I think it would be better.
I agree.
Because he knew, especially at this time, he knew how to toe the line. And he's the guy who created this version of a lot of these characters. So I would have liked to see him tell this story. The framing of this really is smart. I love the idea. An unleashed Magneto releases total power, and the heroes have to face off with not only him, but the world, the weather, the way he destroyed the weather, and turned it against them. The way he kills Wolverine, awesome. If there were like 3 or even 5 major character deaths that were more just like leaning towards at least cool, not distasteful, because the Wolverine one to me is cool.
Yeah.
Sure.
He goes out badass. He actually gets the stabs in. So it's like he goes out heroically. Magneto dying to Cyclops, I would argue he deserved to die.
Yeah.
Cyclops getting shot in the head like that.
Bro, what?
Yeah.
That felt lazy.
I remember picking up that issue because I have all these in singles somewhere. I was like, what? Like it just comes out of nowhere. And it's just it's the worst like panel too for the boom. It's like, here's your Windows 95 screensaver gradient of gold with just the word boom in it.
Boom. Is that what it sounds like?
I don't even think it's a boom. Yeah, no, we saw supposedly a real assassination attempt. It wasn't that loud.
But Tyler, you bring that up, and it's funny because at the same time, well, within a few months of this, Cap gets assassinated in Mainline. And think about the way that feels. Like, just think about how you feel about that comic book and that moment compared to the same moment with a character doing a similar thing. Cyclops is just giving a speech and he gets his head blown out. Cap is walking up steps and he gets shot, but like, did they explode his head? Like, was it gruesome torture porn? No.
It was story. It was a mystery, at least. Who kills Cyclops? Do we know? It's just some
Quicksilver.
Quicksilver.
Oh,
yeah.
okay. Yeah.
That blur, that line that kind of comes, and then then dons the helmet.
I forgot about that. Does that have
puts
payoff?
on that's the payoff. He puts on Magneto's helmet and he looks awfully weird.
It's a bad panel.
Dude, he's relishing in that. They had a weird relationship, right? He puts on that helmet, something weird happens.
Unreal. Matt Fisher with another $4.99. Do you think more than anything else, Ultimatum is remembered for the Wasp? Yes.
Yeah, unfortunately. Yeah. I think that, the Doctor Strange bit, and the Doctor Doom bit, I think, are the big 3.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. And Thing just, like, pulls up and crushes his skull. What?
Dude, I hated that part. I can look past some of the shock panels and the gore. That part I think I hated more than most of the rest of the story. Yeah. Right? Like how out of character for Ben Grimm to show up, and how out of character for Doom to not know that he's walking in to the goddamn room, and he's just like, "Hey, you pushed Magneto's buttons." Like, what? That's not Ben Grimm in any goddamn reality. That was weird. That was weird.
He's the least like stealthy of all of them. How did he not set off any alarms?
He had a cloak.
What did that cloak do exactly? Is what I want to know. Like, did it keep him warm? Probably not. Like, what was the point of it? What's the point of it?
You can't he's got this cloak on, right? So he could be anybody.
Yeah.
Not that the
Yeah.
thing is a massive beast of a creature. You see that fucker walking down Fifth Avenue, you know who
Yeah.
that is.
Even if it's an invisibility cloak, there's gonna be some sound from all that clobbering. Like,
Yeah.
And,
Well,
and
and the town's frozen and there's snow everywhere. He's got to be leaving thing footprints all over
It's
the
true.
goddamn ground, right?
can we also acknowledge though that Doom just lets himself die? He
Yeah.
has Doom just dies.
Yeah. Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and then his Namor fish tank is just watching it all.
I was this reread, I was kind of hyped when Thing came in because I forgot what happens. I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna have one last big fight.
Yeah.
Nah, just a nasty murder.
And the stubbornness of Reed to be like, it's you. I know it's you, Namor. Yes, I got picked up by, this other ship, but I know it's you. And that's why Namor's in this situation. All of Reed was annoying to read.
And it's funny because that's the Maker.
Dude, he's whiny, bro.
So this version of Reed is different in critical ways from mainline Reed. His father is not a good man, and there are implications of him being abused by his dad. He's extremely brilliant but very insecure, and so he feels like everybody's after Sue, and he's always trying to protect Sue. Ben Grimm and Sue in the Ultimate Fantastic Four book have something going on.
Oh.
And so Reed is very angry about everything that's going on, and that stuff is what leads to him being the Maker.
Wow.
Wait.
Just all the cuckoldry in the fucking Ultimate Universe.
It's a weird world.
And so Harris says Doom, who died in this comic, wasn't even Victor, it was Mary Storm.
Yeah, they retcon, I guess you could call it a retcon, that this wasn't really Doom. It was Mary Storm. But why? They don't use Doom in any good way here, now, forever. The Ultimate Universe does not use Doom well.
So this isn't Victor Von Doom, but this is the end of Ultimate Doom.
I don't remember if we see him again. I don't recall.
Sheesh. Zenith Flare Gaming says the Maker was Reed's incel journey. Yeah. What happens when no wife?
This is the retcon, right, for mutants, where they're human made or some sort of experimentation. But that was, correct me if I'm wrong, was that not whilst Fury was in the other universe?
So when Fury gives that speech to Magneto, wait, are you asking where he is when he gives the speech, or what are you asking?
Exactly? When he had that information that he has, was that not acquired while he was in that other universe?
No, he's known the whole time. He did it.
Oh.
It's the Magneto's whole gimmick is about mutant supremacy, as it tends to be. And in that final moment, he's basically telling him all this shit you've been fighting for is for people who were a mistake. And if you weren't sure before that Jeff Loeb at this point in time is a hopeless person, he's taking mutants, which are the symbol of evolution and the future of humanity, and saying, yeah, they're just a mistake. That's rough. And I can't let this moment pass without saying this. Earlier on, Pete said, I understand Magneto's journey in this book because I'm a father too, and if that happened, who wrote this? What happened in his life? He wrote it. He is Magneto in this book.
It's Fury.
He wants to tear the world down because of what happened to his son. And I feel so horrible for him, but I don't want to read a comic written by an angry father who wants to take his vengeance out on comic book characters. I just don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Not like this. Atomic Hound dropping $19.99 on us. Just sharing love for the pals, Pete, and the great discussion. be calm and deep dive on. Thank you so much, Atomic Hound. Really appreciate you, buddy.
We might be drowning in this deep dive, though.
Oh man. Well, Ultimatum ultimately ends. The last bit we get in this book is a page that essentially shouts out everyone who was killed. It's actually not absolutely everyone, but it says honoring those who died in Ultimatum.
Oh my God.
Like, and that page is ultimately a promotion for where you should go read next. It's like, hey, if you want to see the funeral for all these characters who died, go read these books. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I don't think I got that in my trade.
Because they realize how goofy it is.
Damn.
Yeah, it's like the last page, and you're I saw that. I'm
No,
like,
I don't have it.
That's disrespectful.
That's what they thought when they did the printing. Yeah. Mine goes straight into character designs.
Oh my goodness gracious, dude. It's unbelievable comic book. We haven't checked chat, so let's take a quick pause and see what chat is saying. See what chat is saying. SSJ2 Vajero rules. No, Sean Bendis wrote that mutants were the result of Super Soldier Serum and Ultimate Origin. That's just a tie-in to that book. Oh, okay. But either way, Nick Fury is the person who knows this, and he's letting Magneto know in a critical moment, like, hey, everything you did was for nothing.
His dying moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Zenith Flare Gaming, Magneto finally achieved his goal over the course of the entire series. Even his 616 counterpart wanted to do this several times, and that was cool. It was just too abbreviated. Yep. I think that was definitely a part where once they're like, oh, Magneto's the cause of all this, I'm like, okay, I can see that. Sure, that's the direction his character can typically go. But he never felt like a big bad to me. Finch drew him like one, but he never felt like, oh, this is what the event should surround itself around.
I agree, because he doesn't really step into the fray. I mean, at all. He gets confronted. He doesn't step in and go to New York and actually tear shit up, which is what I was hoping for.
He's ambushed. And his first step, he gets his arm cut off.
Yeah, he had a bad day.
Dude.
He got his arm cut off. He got stabbed. He got told the truth about mutants. He got fucking his head blown off by Cyclops.
Forgot about it.
Unreal. Dr. Doom resists streamlining. Any attempt to simplify the character makes him lesser. So we get Electric Doom, Goat Doom, Tetsuo Doom. Fox-tastic. What the heck is Tetsuo Doom? What does that mean?
I think it's a Akira reference, yeah.
Okay.
Akira!
Aaron Ruiz says that speech from Fury to Magneto was really bad, but also really raw. Take it or leave it. It was really bad. And again, like, in the context of a book that's very different from this, Fury's speech is like, oh shit, yeah, that's the final nail in the coffin. And then let's let Magneto live so he can go to prison and have to think about this shit. But to just kill him in the aftermath is like, all right, whatever.
I did like how Finch decided to draw Magneto getting his head vaporized by Cyclops correctly, because it's a force beam, so it breaks apart.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of it being like a melting thing. I'm glad that was the case.
Yeah, but at the same time, when have you ever seen Cyclops' beam just delete someone like that? Like, if he hits you in the chest with his beam, why doesn't your chest explode?
He didn't set it to the right setting. That's what the knob is on the side of his visor. One of them's kill.
Right.
Oh, away from stun.
Yeah.
Turn it to emulsify.
Great for soups though at the mansion.
Yeah,
Sure.
the Magneto soup.
Oh man. Well, there was a point to all of this murder, and the point was to get us into a new era of Ultimate books. And we'll talk a lot more about that new era next week. But there is one piece left that I want to talk about that's sort of from that new era, but I feel like it fits into this conversation. And that is the death of Ultimate Spider-Man. This book teases you with that by suggesting, oh no, where's Spider-Man? And of course, if you were reading other material, you know that he was totally fine. But the death of Ultimate Spider-Man storyline um, is definitely led into by this. So in Ultimatum, Spider-Man saves J. Jonah Jameson. In the midst of that, he learns that Peter Parker is Spider-Man. It leads to one of the best moments to me in Spider-Man history, where there's a conversation in the office, the Daily Bugle office, between Jonah and Peter, where he sits him down and he says, very soberly, he says, I have had you wrong this whole time. I didn't realize that you were a great person, and I need to make it right the way that I've treated you over these years. Because he had been fired from the Daily Bugle. Obviously, they had a vendetta against Spider-Man. And he says, you're a Spider-Man. I want to help you through college. I want to do all these things for you. And Peter's just like, I don't need any of that. I would just like a job, please, because web shooters are expensive. Web fluid is expensive. And it just felt like such a beautiful moment between these two characters. Did any of you have a chance to read that?
I read a little bit of it.
Okay, yeah, because anyway, that's in the prelude to the death of Ultimate Spider-Man, so technically outside the purview of this, but just a really beautiful moment. I read through the whole death of Ultimate Spider-Man. I thought it was really well done. Even still to this day, it left a bit of a sour taste in my mouth reading it right after Ultimatum, because that's how I read it for this. But man, it is amazing. It really is.
I felt that Death of Spider-Man was it has its own shock value to it, right? But I think as where Loeb was writing for specific moments, we're gonna have Blob eat Wasp, we're gonna have Magneto's head vaporized by Cyclops, and he had possibly like these points he wanted to write up to. I think the way that Bendis writes is he's not writing for the moments, he's writing for the interactions of people. And and he has a very strong sense of what a character's thought process is, each of them, how they speak, how they feel, what their intentions are, and he's able to connect those through what feels to me to be very organic conversations in story. And that's I've always felt that's Bendis's strong suit, right? Is how he can write two characters from completely different walks of life engaging with each other. So when some of those shocking moments in Death of Ultimate Spider-Man happen, and there are a couple, they land better because everything else has led you up to feeling a certain way or to truly connecting, and the pacing is so much better, just so much better. Yeah. I love this story. I do. And I remember when it came out, and I was kind of losing my personal interest in the Ultimate Universe at that time. And, and honestly, I wasn't even collecting as much at that point at all. And I remember oh, this is another gimmick. It's just, they're going to off Peter. It's going to be gross. This is stupid. But happy to be wrong about that.
If you recall, during the Ultimates versus Ultimate Avengers story arc, which was written by Bendis, or I'm sorry, not written by Bendis, written by Miller. During that story, Peter gets shot. And it happens, and you see it from a different angle in Death of Spider-Man. But in that book, Peter gets shot, and I remember thinking, this is fucking bullshit. Why would they randomly kill off Spider-Man in this comic book? And of course, that's not what happens. But it felt like they were playing with the idea of how was Spider-Man going to die. It felt like an inevitability by this point. So in reading Death of Ultimate Spider-Man, when it gets to, and he's fighting the Sinister Six, and he's been shot by the Punisher, and all this stuff is going on, and it's really awesome. The final battle between him and the Green Goblin, the way it all began. Beautiful
So good.
stuff.
So good. So good. And having the, all the supporting characters right around there too, right? Like
Yep.
it was a nice gift wrap to everything that came beforehand, right? Uh and the way that Peter is written in those last moments too, right? Like he's just so content with it. He did he realized that he failed to save his uncle, but he saved his aunt instead. And that it's just a warm read, right? Like you read those lines and you feel something for the character. Quite the opposite from Ultimatum. Quite the opposite. Quite the opposite.
Exactly. One death that feels earned, respectful to the character, to the readers, to your time and money, and another book that's literally just feels like torture porn.
Yeah.
He says, it's okay. I did it. I saved you. And I read that last night and I just about teared up. Because, if you were there in the moment, you read the kid's whole life story, really. It's Ultimate Spider-Man for all those issues. It's only 1 year of time. So you read his entire journey as Spider-Man. You were there for every beat and bit of it. And it felt like a full story. It felt like, I think Ultimate Spider-Man is as close as we'll ever get to what a lot of people ask for, which is a full, complete story in comics.
It's all 1 year?
It's all 1 year.
So Miles has been Spider-Man much longer than Ultimate Peter was ever.
Yep. Absolutely.
Wild.
Mm-hmm. Great stuff. And by the way, Justin Ponzer, I have to mention him. I cannot do this without talking about him. Rest in peace, Justin Ponzer, whose colors are so good on this book. Him coloring Mark Bagley, oh my God. I forgot I forgot this was the era of Justin Ponzer. Wow. He's one of the greatest colorists of all time.
Yeah, and I feel look, Bagley's great. He was my Spider-Man artist growing up. I've always loved his stuff. I do feel that after a certain point in Ultimate Spider-Man, I think like I don't want to say he was phoning it in, but I think he was taking some shortcuts. His art maybe wavered just a little bit, which happens, but he came in guns blazing with this. And, Ponzer's colors over it really make this story pop. I think it's some of the best artwork across the entire Ultimate Spider-Man run, right? Like the colors are on point. Panels are dynamic, great angles on characters. The impactful moments are truly impactful without going, the route Finch took with other things. It hits at all levels.
And the reason why I wanted to include this today is to once again highlight the hope versus nihilism of this world. You can kill a character and have that moment still feel hopeful. And Bendis proved that. This is not the end of the Ultimate Universe. There is still more to come. And we will talk about that more next week in the final part of our Ultimate Universe deep dive. I am very ready to talk about Hickman's Ultimate Avengers.
Not only that, we're getting to incursions.
Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah. I think Ultimate X-Men or Ultimate Comics X-Men gets really interesting down the road. Obviously, we're going to talk about Miles, so a lot of interesting stuff left to talk about.
That's with what's his face, the other Wolverine, right? The blonde one? Jimmy Hudson. Yeah. That's when Ultimate X-Men was readable.
Jimmy Hudson.
A lot of people have fond memories and feelings for Jimmy Hudson.
Who technically exists in the 616?
He does. He is one of the only characters, one of the 3 characters to make the transition.
Yeah.
Well, I guess technically Miles's family did, but you know.
And did Jimmy was introduced? Is it the same Jimmy?
I think so. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. Cataclysm. I don't remember Cataclysm. I'm not up to that in my reads. Can you guys tell me what that is? I forget.
Wasn't Cataclysm like the right before the incursion stuff?
I just don't remember what happens. What is it?
Oh, that's the Galactus story, isn't it?
Oh, or was that?
Yeah,
The Ultimate Galactus trilogy, right? And then the last piece.
Galactus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cosmic November versus Jimmy Hudson is great in X-Men Blue. X-Men Blue is a great book. I recommend that book for sure.
X-Men Blue.
This whole episode is Marco going, "This exists?"
What? I don't think I've read Cataclysm. Actually, I think by this point I was extremely checked out of the Ultimate Universe. I have not read this.
Yeah, I think Cataclysm gets weird because it takes like I think like mainline Galactus, and if I remember correctly, it's been a really long time. Mainline Galactus and Ultimate Galactus do like some merging thing. You know, he pops in and out between the two realities or something.
Yeah,
that's what people are saying. Yeah,
it gets weird.
Yeah. Atomic Hound says, "Don't you hate when things you love at the start feel ruined to the point you ask, why are they still doing this and why am I still reading it?" Yes.
that exists for more than just comics too, Hound.
Unfortunate, but yes. Zenith Flare Gaming. I'm just gonna call you Kyle, dude. I hated that he came back later and left with MJ. I always preferred his relationship with Ultimate Gwen. Yeah. I like all the relationships he got to have. That kid was lucky.
getting lucky.
Yeah, all in 1 year too. Jeez.
In a year, my man was with MJ, Kitty. I'm pretty sure, yeah, Kitty, Gwen. Lucky kid.
The Rizzler, bro.
Oh my goodness. We've got a lot more show to do. We are not done by any stretch of the imagination. We are going to talk about the massive revelations for Batman Deadpool. We already know everything about Deadpool Batman, but we're going to talk about Batman Deadpool and all of the backups and variants that we know about for that. I am super excited for that stuff. We've got some new comic announcements to talk about. Solicits just went out, so we've got a lot to get into. So we're gonna have a lot of fun. Before we get into all of that, though, we do have to give a shout out to our sponsors, which are you guys, the people who make this possible, our patrons, the people that go above and beyond for us. We want to go above and beyond for you. So special shout out to the best pals in the universe. Our Pals vs. Legends, Hound of Justice, Atomic Hound, Starcross, Catherine Stars, Adam and Bernie the Best Boy, The Spirit of Judgment, Jay's Jumble, Jalen the Sanguine Sorcerer, Safe Haven, Hayden's Hideout, Jesse, Kyle, and Entertain Me. And I want to give a special shout out to Pals vs. Members, The Night Stalker, Harris Jasinski, Brian Demolished Del Pozo, Kefis the Incorruptible, Momentum, Mike Elliott, Dan the Truth Trudeau, Marley Manistorm, Slowfo Dameron, Christian Uncaged, Always Laughing, The Spirit of Justice, E.T.'s Issues, The Great Destroyer, Hyper Viper 89, Robert, Runback, Cashaback, Pete, The Dreamweaver Collins, who is literally with us right now.
Let's go.
I love that. James, Just Jamming Jones, Paul, Powerhouse Smith, Neon Knight, The Cosmic Avenger, Matthew, The Shade Cosmo, BJ Kicks, The Living Blade, Boss Frontier, Steve, Swarm, Canaris, Panda V Panda, Ted Wong, Blur, Jekyll, Jose, Scripture, The Wardens of the Word, Amin Almighty Perez. If you did not hear your name, you will later. Thank you so much for the support. Woo!
Thank you.
It's like a Pal's army.
Yeah. Yes.
When are we having Ultimatum in the Palsverse?
Oh boy. Oh boy.
No.
Oh boy.
We got to keep Pete. We can't let Pete die in the Ultimatum wave.
So it would be Paltimatum?
Paltimatum.
Paltimatum.
I don't like how I like that.
And you know what else, by the way, about Ultimatum? Like, by definition of the word, there's no fucking ultimatum in the book.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So dumb. Tyler, we owe a wheel spin. We owe a couple actually. So why don't we spin that wheel off one time? I'm
Yeah,
hoping it lands on water.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like you could use one.
Yes.
Highlight a book.
Oh, cool.
We're right by water.
Well, we got to figure out who's going to highlight a book. Why don't we ask the audience who you want to highlight a book? So what this will be, Marco, while you put up a poll with all four of us on it, is one of us will highlight a book that we've recently been really enjoying, and we'll just talk about it for 45 seconds. No, nothing crazy. And the audience will decide which one of us you want to highlight something. Shit, I got to think about what I've been reading.
Yeah,
Everything I've been reading is Ultimate books. Jeez. It's all I've had time to get around to lately.
Should we spin another one while we're at it?
Sure.
Okay. Maybe we can get you a drink here. I hate the sound it makes. It just sounds like it's like I'm holding an udder.
I wish we could hear that.
Yeah.
Oh, right? Water.
Hey,
okay,
it did land on water.
There
Everybody grab your drink, whether you're on the show, not on the show, take a swig.
Manipulation.
Mine's in the kitchen. I forgot this was a bit on the show now.
Oh, shit. Well, thank you, chat, for getting us that water break in there. We've got the poll rolling. Thank you, Neon Knight, by the way. $9.99. Loving this deep dive, pals. Really appreciate you, dude. Thank you.
Two more until we get to the GOAT game. Which Pete is on, potentially, if it rolls that way.
Nice.
Yes. Well, the audience wants Pete to highlight a book. 56% Pete, 18% Marco. Tyler and I tied at 12.
Okay, cool. So my reading habits are weird. I buy things and read things intermittently. So I actually have been enjoying Justice League Unlimited. I thought I was pulled in by the Dan Mora art, but I stayed for the Mark Waid writing for sure. I think that it harkens back to a better time when DC animation ruled our Saturday mornings.
Yeah.
I love that open feel where any character can just come and go. The story with Airwave as a focal point was interesting, not who I would have thought, but it was great. Seeing Gorilla Grodd, the Legion of Doom playing a part, and then entering into this point where there's timey-wimey stuff. I really loved it. And Dan Moore is a superhuman, so anything he is drawing, I'm in favor for. Really loved it. You should buy it. You should read it. You should enjoy it. And thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
There you go.
Nice.
I love that. Succinct.
Well done.
Like Dan Trudeau says, can it be Marco talking about something he knows nothing about again?
Oh, if Tyler added 300 characters
And most Marvel too, Marco.
Forget about it, dude.
You're fucked.
Dude, I hope it just doesn't happen. Or it's only DC.
There's going to be characters in there that maybe only I know about. Which is a little unfair but hey, I made it, so who cares?
Well, we do have an announcement about the book club. The poll's been up. You guys have cast your votes. I'm a little disappointed. I feel like we could have gotten a lot more votes. I don't know where you guys are at, but we did get enough votes for me to feel comfortable with announcing that the winner of the Ultimate August Book Club poll is Ultimate Spider-Man. Which
should be a surprise. Yeah.
Who would have thought?
Maybe that's why the votes weren't there. They're like, I know where this is going.
It's possible. We'll figure out a selection of the series to read. I definitely want to read the first 12. And then, we'll pick and choose from there. If you guys have any favorites, let us know too.
I want my entry point into Ultimate Spider-Man. I want that first hit,
Yeah.
Does Ultimate Spider-Man work in obviously it's going to have its arcs, but do they work as larger sagas and chunks that you can kind of, maybe we're going to read the chunk of 40 through to 50 and that works for the purposes of that? Because I'd be curious to kind of jump in on pockets.
Marco, we know those as arcs in comic books.
Yo, his reaction. Oh my god, dude. Oh my fucking god, Marco.
I feel like I opened with, I know that there are going to be arcs, but are there pockets that are consolidated?
Like, I think that's an issue with Marvel in general, though. Like,
it's not. At least in respect to this book. The book is very readable, regardless of where you want to kick off. I did not start with issue 1.
oh,
You know, it's Bendis. He's very good at giving you a place. Like if you wanted to read, for example, the Venom arc, which I could imagine you would want to read because you played the video game.
Yeah.
That arc is, you don't need anything. You just need to know he's Spider-Man.
Sure. Okay. Cool.
So yeah, we'll choose a selection and we'll let you guys know what it'll be. But we're gonna have a great time talking about Ultimate Spider-Man. I cannot wait for that.
and it's going to be a selection of one continuous chunk, right? We're not doing like an amuse-bouche of like this and this and this.
I would like to jump around a little bit.
Okay.
Actually, like I think
Yeah.
the first 12 in my mind right now, first 12, Death of, and first Miles arc is what I'm thinking.
Ooh.
Okay.
That might amuse my boosh.
I don't ever
Wow.
want to amuse your fucking boosh, dude.
That bouche is puckering.
Oh. Oh, but
All right, entertain me.
you wanted to be here, Pete. This is what it is.
Entertain me with the $5. Says it's the best I can do. I think changing his username. Just stick with entertain me. Keep up the good talk, pals, and Pete.
Oh yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, dude. We are one super chat away from our goal, so you guys have been amazing. Anthony Manzano says, Sean, Marco, Pete, and Tyler, have you guys been able to read the new Chip Zdarsky Captain America, and what are your thoughts on it? First of all, Anthony, thank you so much for commenting. Appreciate you being here with us. Second of all, we have been reading it. We've reviewed the first 2 issues on Pals Polls already, and I'm pretty sure consensus is we really enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Pete, have you checked it out at all?
I have it. I haven't read it yet. I'm excited to when I sit and finally do it. I love Chip. Chip's good.
Yeah, Chip's good people.
I think he's doing something real cool with this story.
Dan Trudeau says, is it a $10 super chat? $5 super chat or better will trigger the goal. $10 or more gets us to spin the wheel, which we're having a ton of fun with so far today. Sean, what universe gets consolidated first in your guys' opinion? Is it the Ultimate Universe in Marvel or Absolute DC? It's a good question. And I want to know what we all think about that. What do you guys think?
I think the answer is neither. Is the honest answer. But if I'm going to have to pick one, it would be Ultimate. It would be something like they take that Family Man Peter and that's mainline Peter now. I think Absolute is just too different for them to ever make that the main thing in the main universe.
Oh, I read that improperly because my reading was like which one will go away, but I guess that's not what consolidation means.
Oh, I kind of read it the same way you did, Sean. Like which one will kind of contract first?
Right. Yeah, that was how I interpreted it. So clarify if you want, but we can answer the question however we want.
Either way, Ultimate, I think, in my eyes.
Sure.
I'll be honest. I don't read a lot of the Absolute stuff. I hear good things, obviously from you guys, from other people. I did check out the Martian Manhunter one. I liked what I saw. I bought 2 issues of Green Lantern. Didn't really appreciate that as much. Superman, I love the art in it. I've only got a couple issues. I just haven't been able to get into it. Like I feel I appreciate the attempt to do something different, but I feel like the characters are so different and it doesn't appeal to me as much.
Interesting.
I enjoy the Ultimates because it's something that's familiar but different, and Absolute seems that it's different and kind of familiar, if that makes sense. Like there's a difference between those 2 buckets to me. And I've really enjoyed the Ultimates right? Dennis Camp is great. That Guardians issue, which what was that? Four, five, six,
The
five?
Guardians one,
Might
Yeah,
have
where
been
they
like
introduced the
8.
Guardians.
Yeah,
yeah,
would
that
be
was like
like
Yeah,
the
8 or
second
somewhere in
arc or
there.
so.
Yeah.
I love that book so much. I read it 3 times in a row. Just started it over every time I finished it because it felt like just a well-crafted sci-fi dramatic opera type thing, and I loved that issue. So I'm an Ultimates guy over an Absolute guy.
Okay, fair enough.
Not that I'm trying to be a start tribes or anything, but
Trust me, the tribes already exist.
I'm sure. I'm sorry.
If
I'm
they-
sure.
So
Yeah, go ahead.
he added clarity to his question. What I mean by consolidation is who has their consolidation event where every character gets killed off, like an ultimatum-esque thing.
Sure.
Oh,
I don't think there.
Ultimates.
I don't
Ultimate.
think there will be an event that kills everyone off, but if one of them is more likely to have a mass culling of any kind, I do think it's the Ultimate Universe.
Yeah, I think the Ultimates alone has too many characters already.
Yeah.
I feel like some of them are being propped up just to be killed off.
But I would never think Marvel would do anything that smells like Ultimatum ever again.
Yeah, some of these guys just go back into prison or something, like within the Ultimates. So yeah, actually, the outside world, they're like, oh, I'm gonna go find myself. Like all the alternatives would exist before a mass death.
Yeah.
Yeah. And DC likes their multiversal stuff too much. I think too, even if they did do something along those lines, a few years from now, it'll be a return to the absolute universe or something,
Sure. Yeah, like even if they stop telling stories in that space, I could see it existing as one of the many.
Yeah.
Multiverse.
Gotham by Gaslight still has a comic occasionally.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Electrics with the 50 SEK says spin that wheel. And Dan Trudeau with the 10 spot says spin the wheel, spin the wheel. So you guys have definitely gotten us over the hump. We reached our goal pretty quickly. Thank you so much. Chop Harder Alchemist not letting us breathe. He drops another super chat, $4.99. Any plans for a DCKO bracket talk episode as we get closer to the event?
Ooh.
The variants that dropped yesterday got me hyped. Lobo is my pick to win.
So first off, water.
Nice.
We did roll on water.
Oh, beautiful. Yes,
Cheers.
drink up.
And Chop Harder, I would kill for that. I love a bracket. Even though I'm not a big sports guy, but I like a nice tournament bracket. And being able to break that down, maybe have some bets would be a lot of fun. I know Sean likes to bet too.
Man,
I don't like to bet.
You like to bet on the show.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
I do. I am the opposite of a gambler in real life. We can do that. We can do that.
there's bracket makers online can kind of mimic it.
Yeah. Maybe we got to figure out when the hell they're going to actually fully announce the bracket. That'd be nice.
Right.
I am so unaware when it comes to like sports brackets and stuff like that. So I guess I would need to learn, but if we could put it together once DC does what they're supposed to do, that'd be fun.
Yeah, I remember how hard it was to describe a snake draft to you guys. So
I didn't understand that shit at all.
Should we spin one more time? Just get the second one out of the way.
Sure.
Spin that.
What's it just keep being water and then you just drown like an ultimatum?
Where we at?
It could very well be. Put a minute on the clock for Marco.
Uh-oh.
Marco's minute. Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Ah, shit.
Should it be about ultimatum from what he learned?
I think we've heard Marco talk enough about Ultimatum. I think we've all talked enough about Ultimatum, quite frankly.
Can I talk to you guys about something I started reading?
No. Marco, how important is it for a man to dress well?
Oh, incredibly important. I think there's something to be said about your outward appearance and its relation to how you might carry yourself, but also how your peers perceive you. I think one of the things that I learned later in life, because there was kind of this resistance to caring about how I how I feel about dressing. When I was younger, my parents would take me to the mall. I don't want to do this, blah blah blah. Right. So it's only later in life that I feel like I've recognized how subtle dressing yourself and maintaining your appearance can have effects on people outside of your influence, not even just like the people related to you or like the people who care and love for you, but I think that it helps in a business setting and it helps in the setting that we have even here. It's one of the reasons why I'm dressed even now, right? Like it's a little sexy, bro. I feel good in it.
You're showing off your single chest hair.
What the fuck? You feel sexy right now?
Yeah,
You're
bro.
doing
I feel
You're on a
I'm
comic
on-
book podcast.
and I feel good, bro.
I have seen you on this motherfucker wearing Swamp Thing tees. Are you telling me when you're wearing a Swamp Thing tee you feel sexy?
If you
I feel
if you style
like
it
a
correctly,
fan.
yeah.
Yeah, I feel like a fan. In those moments, I feel like a fan.
Marco, I have a rotary cutter if you want to make some cutoffs with those shirts. We can give
Nice.
you a nice, show off some midriff on your Swamp Thing
Yeah,
tee.
that's right. It's a little tums.
Now, okay, let me ask you this question. And really, it's for Pete.
Hmm.
If we decided to do a Comics Pals universe pinup magazine or calendar, Marco obviously will be a part of it. Tyler doesn't care. Would you be a part of it?
Hold on.
Don't worry about it, Tyler. Pete, would you join in?
I'm there. I'm
You're
there.
in?
Let's
I'm there.
go.
I'm there. Is this like a fireman calendar kind of thing?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh. I have to get.
Yeah, he said art. He said pin up to the artist. Of course, he was in.
I would be down for it. I have to have my wife sign off on it though.
Right.
So
Right.
so I got to get like a contract in order.
Can't be showing off the goods without permission.
No, that requires a notary.
Yeah.
All sorts of, there's legalities associated to that.
Got it.
Stakes of ownership in certain properties. So we have to get the paperwork finalized for that. But personally, yeah, sure, whatever. I'm cool with it.
Nice.
Cool with
Tyler,
it.
go ahead.
I'm gonna dress up like Eevee though. We're going full furry.
Oh, cool.
Pokemon furry.
All right. You didn't say Vaporeon though, so that's good.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay, wait. So now we're dressing up as Pokemon. Okay, so what Pokemon are we all dressing up as? Pete's Eevee.
Slugma.
There you go.
Just on the ground.
I thought you were going to
Scizor.
say like slug my balls or something like that.
Well, I'm a mature person, Sean. I would never make such a joke on this podcast.
You said Scizor, Marco?
Yeah,
Scizor.
that's my favorite.
Scizor ring.
Oh God.
I'm gonna be
Low punny, Sean. I think you can pull off low punny.
Hell no. That's funny. Damn, I want to be either Kangaskhan
Ooh,
or Squirtle.
that's problematic.
I'm gonna put Marco in my pouch.
Ooh, okay. That might have been the worst thing you've ever said on the show, Sean.
Oh my.
You're gonna have him be abused in your boosh.
I want to change mine from Eevee. I think I'm gonna go not Jigglypuff, but more like Jigglytough.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
There it is.
Hell yeah.
That's it.
I like that.
I'm gonna have some explaining to do if my wife is watching this in the other room.
Yeah.
So,
Yo,
sorry, honey.
Zenithler says Marco is pseudo-wudo.
That's fucking hilarious, dude. I can see that.
I still don't understand his typing. That's an issue I have with Pokemon, though.
What are you gonna do?
Electrics. This is from Madewell.
Was it made well?
Yeah, it is actually. Yeah,
Okay, good. No rayon in there?
I think it's all cotton.
Okay, cool.
I could pull off a good Lucario cosplay.
God, this is not the Furry Pals. I'm sorry.
I never would have thought.
We're not yiffing around here.
Hell no. Cosmic November says, I didn't think Ultimatum episode was going to be so funny. Y'all are cracking me up. We gotta balance it out, right? We gotta.
Even if we have to force it for Ultimatum, because that book is bleak.
Sure the fuck is. All right. So we are in the midst of Ultimate August, as you are all aware. Thank you for showing up and being a part of it. We do have to tell you our top 5 Ultimate characters. and we've given you our first two. So why don't we go on and give you our number 3?
Just one update. Pete's wife in the chat saying we have her blessing as long as he wears a fireman's hat. Just
Wait,
so
are you
Oh
serious?
shit! Oh
That-
shit!
You'd have to fact check that because I don't know. I could be anyone. Posing.
That is no. You are. That is nope. Hi,
That's
honey.
First of all, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate the view. Second of all, Pete, I got one recommendation for you, buddy. I think you should take it. Go out and buy a fireman's hat right now.
Nice.
Tell your wife
Is that stolen valor?
it'll be there as soon as you're off the show. You're on the way. You're on the way with a fireman's
I'm doing it.
hat.
I'm
Get
doing
them
it.
straps. Get the straps.
Suspenders.
Get the
You gotta be
suspenders.
specific with wording here, Sean.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, not the straps. the
Yeah.
suspenders.
And if this is the kind of material that you like, I would recommend joining the Pals Patreon and the Discord, where you may see a sneak peek of this. Well, join now. Join it. No, I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. But you know, unless you're into that sort of thing and want to join the Patreon,
Listen,
maybe I don't know.
Patreon.
Give the pals money and love
Yeah,
and hugs.
only pals. You never know. You never know where we're going.
Hasn't happened yet, so I think we're in the clear.
Yeah.
A little
Got the user-
oversaturated now.
Got the username saved, so that's.
Do you really, Marco?
No.
Okay. That's what to log in with the email just to be sure. Be like, this son of a gun.
Contact at the comments.
Yeah.
Log in for fucking OnlyFans.
I wouldn't put it past you either. You do snag all of our usernames usually, just to be safe. They do stand up on there, so. All right,
Yeah,
who
I
wants
bet
to
there's
go?
a lot of standing up going on.
Yeah,
That
I bet.
No.
Oh my goodness gracious. Tyler, tell us about your third favorite Ultimate character.
Number 3. It's Peter Parker, Ultimate Peter Parker. I talked about how I don't really have too much of Ultimate Spider-Man under my belt. I really only got into Ultimate Spider-Man, strangely, around Ultimatum, and then into the Ultimate Comics relaunch of the Ultimates, which is just more of a rebranding, really. And I really liked it. That was with, who did the art on that one? I'm forgetting.
I'm sorry, on what?
The Ultimate Comics Spider-Man?
Oh, Pacelli?
Yeah.
No, it was
Yeah.
before that.
Stuart Imo.
No, it was a Spanish name.
We'll find it.
Yeah, I'll forget. But I thought it was good. I liked how it was like, it was Aunt May, Peter, Gwen, and Mary Jane are around. Like, I just really enjoyed the book for what it was. I had not really read Coltrane, David LaFuente. Yes, that's who it was. I was a big David LaFuente guy, so that brought me into the book. And I just really liked seeing a young Peter Parker. Like, I was reading mainline Spider-Man for years at that point, post, One More Day, Big Time, all that stuff. So he was in college, he was running his own business. He was, all that kind of stuff. And seeing this kind of younger take on Peter was just refreshing to me. And I just enjoyed it. And Bendis just has a knack for the character.
Totally. Marco?
My number 3 is Green Goblin. That it was my first experience seeing a ultimified villain, and in contrast to where he sits with Spider-Man, like that initial relationship, that first arc, you can kind of see the trajectory. I haven't even gotten to the reveal of, like, I've seen the transformation, right? I've seen the, like, what he looks like, but the consequences of all those things as it progresses in the story, I haven't even gotten to. But I just remember it in the video game, and the design looking cool, and that being my first touch point there. Being able to see that reflected in the comics was really cool. So, like, that to me is my number 3, purely because of some of the nostalgia that it holds. But also after reading it, the, like, effectiveness of that character.
For me, I will say my number 3 is Captain America. I think that Ultimate Captain America is very compelling as a character. It's not that I love that he's jingoistic and rah rah America. I just think it's interesting to take Cap and turn him that way and sort of see how this version ticks. One of the things about Captain America that people have often said is he's a Boy Scout. And I never really cared about Captain America much until I started reading comics and saw that like he's not just that. Um, and he's also a really good ass kicker. He can fight. And the ultimate Captain America fighting the Hulk is one of my favorite fights in comic book history, and it's done so well in the animated series, the animated movie, The Ultimate Avengers. He's not just a dick; he cares a lot. He's very ready to sacrifice himself for other people, and I like how those pieces of him stand in contrast to the other aspects of his character. It makes him a more murky, gray character as opposed to a very black and white one. Um, and so I really appreciated that. That's one of my favorite things that Mark Miller did in the Ultimate Space. Pete, who's your favorite Ultimate character, if you have one?
Favorite? Oh geez. I'm gonna go with Ultimate Thor. Because I liked the take. Um, I thought it was interesting to, introduce him as a character that is not mentally stable, lives in a fantasy realm in his own head, sort of. And I thought it was I liked the way that they balanced that out. Like, you know, is he mentally unwell, or is he really from this place? Is it a combination of the two? Um, I appreciated that they got away from the half thou and verily stuff, and gave him a big badass hammer, right? Like, that's cool. I used to read a lot of Thor back in like the Simonson stuff. Like, that's something, by the way. I go to flea markets. I look for those issues. I've got one full run and a half at this point. And but I dropped off of Thor, and then when the Ultimate comic started to come out, I kind of found myself re-interested in Thor as a character, and that led me into the mainstream stuff again. Yeah, he's visually, he looks cool.
Oh yeah. Thor was my favorite of the Ultimate characters when I first read the book.
Yeah.
Because of how like that question mark of like, is this dude nuts or what's going on with this guy? Like, I thought that was very interesting.
Yeah.
And like, that's another thing about Mark Miller is that Bendis says that Miller was writing about nihilism, but I feel like it was more cynicism. It's if there was a guy who said he was a god, nobody would believe that. Like, some people would, but most people would not.
Yeah, yeah. And there's gosh, I don't remember the name of the book. Was it Tea Time for the Lost Soul? Is that what it's called?
What?
There's a book. Gosh, there's an old book, and I remember reading it in like ninth grade. One second, I'm looking it up.
You got me on the hook.
For the traditionally built? Tea Time for the Traditionally Built by Alexander McCall Smith.
Long Dark Tea Time. The Long Dark Tea Time of the Soul. It's written by Douglas Adams. And that book has some elements to it where like gods walk among men. And I felt, and granted, it had been forever since I had read that when Ultimates came out. I kind of felt like you have this god nobody's believing is a god. He's kind of imprisoned or held, or he's not allowed to be himself, but is he truly himself? And that book kind of plays off of similar ideas in that way. So I connected with it. It's also a good book. Check it out. But yeah, well handled. I can't say Miller handled every character well. Like, I didn't like his Hulk. I didn't like his, I thought his rendition his version of Cap was hit or miss. Like, one moment he's a jarhead, the next moment he's, kind of helpful. That took a little bit to grow on me, but Thor was instant.
Yeah, 100%.
Nice.
We will give you the rest of our list over the next couple of weeks. But what we're going to get into now is the revelations about what we can expect from DC's side of the Marvel and DC crossover, that being Batman Deadpool #1, which is coming out in November. So we knew already it was going to be written by Grant Morrison with art by Dan Mora. We didn't know what to expect exactly from the story, although with Morrison writing, you can imagine there will be some weird ass shit. And solicits have proven that out. So let's talk about that first, and then we'll get into the covers of it all. So, quote, it's described as a reality bending saga that's equal parts cosmic horror, slapstick noir, and a metafictional therapy session. It's the kind of comic book that knows it's a comic book, revels in being a comic book, weaponizes its comic bookiness, and dares you to keep reading anyway.
That is the fucking coolest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
That's Grant Morrison, baby.
Now, Tyler suggested when we talked about the existence of this book at first that maybe Morrison would put themselves in the comic. And this description makes me think that's more of a possibility, certainly, than I did at the time.
Yeah, I think that's where this book is going. It's going to be, when you do this on your Morrison, I can't understand, like, there's no world where they don't address the comic book nature of it. You know, that it is a comic. Like, it's the most comic you can get right now. I think even in some kind of press, they mentioned like Danny the Street's going to be in it too.
Yes.
Like, hell yeah. If we're going Doom Patrol Grant Morrison, that makes sense with Deadpool. A little less sense with Batman around, but I think he could be a good straight man to Deadpool. Yeah, I'm excited for this. This is what I wanted out of this book.
And I think having Morrison write that, like the fourth wall breaking, which is emblematic of Deadpool's character, they can take it in ways that previous writers who have used it only for humor can maybe, elevate that a bit.
I mean,
now, yeah, go ahead.
Let's see. Look at the cover, the A cover. They're fighting with angels in the background.
Yeah,
it's Morrison for you.
This drops in November 19th. So just a couple of months after the Marvel portion of this piece. And as we know, there are backup stories that are going to be, there are 4 backups each. So we know the DC, or we know the Marvel ones. Here are the DC ones. Get ready for this. Scott Snyder, James Tynion, and Joshua Williamson all together with Hayden Sherman on Constantine meets Doctor Strange.
Oh, shit.
Crazy.
Oh, shit. Yo, Constantine and Ooh.
The most obvious pairing, but I'm still into it. And this is Tynion coming back to superhero books.
Yeah, for a brief spell. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
So that one's exciting, and there's a variant cover associated with that that you guys can see on the screen right now. Thank you, Tyler. We also have Laura Kinney, X-23, Wolverine, and Nightwing, written by Tom Taylor with art by Bruno Redondo. They're teaming up again for X-23 and Nightwing. By the way, Tom Taylor arguably wrote both of those characters better than anybody.
I love Tom Taylor's Wolverine, all new Wolverine.
Yep.
That Laura Kinney stuff with like Honey Badger and Scout, and it's a really good book talking about like what does it mean to be like Legacy, and there's so much that she's a clone as well, and all these other clones that are around and like their sisters, and this is such a stupidly makes sense pairing in terms of creatives and characters that I don't know how I didn't think of this. But yeah, I'm hyped for this.
Yeah, the art on that one is not going to disappoint. That's for sure.
No.
I wonder what gimmick Bruno is going to try and do for this, because Bruno was real big into the gimmicks on the Nightwing run.
It's going to be a lot of hopping around each other throughout shopping mall or apartment complex, I'm sure.
The,
For it all day.
the third story is Mariko Tamaki and Amanda Connor telling a story about Harley Quinn versus the Hulk. The
Huh.
cover
Hmm.
insinuates they're going to be having an eating contest, but covers lie. We don't know what the story is actually going to be, but not what I'd expect. But it sounds kind of fun.
I hope this is. I mean, the cover alludes to it, but I hope it means Harley's going back to Coney Island. I really liked Harley at Coney Island when it was during Amanda Connor's run on the book, and it seems to be, if it's Amanda Connor, probably that era of Harley. I don't know why Hulk is the pairing here,
Yeah.
but I'm fine with it. I'll check out Amanda Connor drawing Hulk. Marco Tamaki, I generally enjoy as well. So sure, this is probably one of the weirder pairings though for characters.
All right.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I agreed that it's an odd choice, but I can see like a bumbling monster kind of maybe take that Harley's just like maybe controlling or driving, taking around, and hijinks. I feel like I can see.
Yeah, yeah, it'll probably be a fun little romp between these two. I agree. And then the last one that we're getting is distinguished by the fact that there's no variant cover for it. It's the only pairing that doesn't have one. It's G. Willow Wilson and Dennis Cohen on Static and Miss Marvel. That's
Hmm.
crazy.
Yeah, that's an exciting one because that's left field for me. I didn't even think static was an option for this.
Right.
Hell yeah, hell yeah.
That's the one I'm most excited for on this side of things.
And it's nice to know that the death of Miss Marvel won't be the last time G. Willow Wilson wrote Miss Marvel.
For real.
Huh. I'm glad that they're bringing him in. Um, I don't know. I want to wait and see on this one. I feel like they haven't treated Static the best always. Like they haven't been, as respectful of the legacy and the character. So, I want to read. I want to read.
Is Cohen doing the art for this?
Yeah.
Miss Marvel's an interesting choice for him. Miss Marvel is such a goofy comic book character that Cohen's art is like he did a Shaft variant not too long ago. It's a little more like realistic, a little hyper realistic. That it'd be interesting to see what Miss Marvel looks like. Also, is she gonna have her fucking crystal powers?
Yeah, probably.
Ay,
Not a fan.
no, I'm not a fan of the crystal powers, unfortunately.
Well, let's take a look at some of these covers. We showed the covers for the books that are for the tie-ins, the not the tie-ins, the backups. But there are a whole bunch of other covers that they showed off that are brilliant. And what I would love for us to do is figure out which ones we're buying, because I already have figured the fuck out which three. I'm getting three covers. These are $8.99. So what I'm telling you is that I am spending $27 that day just on Batman Deadpool.
That's the life of a gooner.
Oh, wait till we get to the Mark Brooks cover. So, kicking off, we've got the Doctor Doom. Do you have these in order, Tyler?
I have them in order of the link you gave me.
Yeah, cool, cool. Um, uh, Joker and Doctor Doom by Lieber Mayo.
Yeah, I don't know
Uh,
what Joker's gonna be doing in that situation. Like, you kind of screwed my guy. This November solicits have just the Joker getting his ass kicked all over.
Yeah. Well, he is strapped with explosives, so
That's a Doom bot. Let's be real.
true.
Yeah. Yeah. Doom phoned that one in. He
Yeah.
didn't. He didn't show up for that.
uh, I know I'm getting a blank variant. I want to get a Marvel artist to do a like body of a DC character, and then vice versa on the blank, and I have
Wait,
them
just the body?
like maybe like uh a bust maybe
Oh,
whatever
okay. You're
is.
not. I thought you were gonna say like want Marvel artists to do body, DC artists to do the head.
No, no, no. Like of a character, each character on
Okay.
the cover of my own pairing.
I don't like the blanks for this because they're colored.
Yeah, I wish they were white, but
Yeah.
we'll see.
We've got the this is one of the greatest covers ever made. Scarlet Witch and Zatanna by Mark Brooks.
Knew it.
This is easily one of the ones I'm buying. I can't believe this is a cover. Mark Brooks is the greatest. I am
Is this your phone background right
I
now,
am in
Sean?
rare form. No, but it may end up being that.
Should be.
I'll get you the high res.
Where's Hayden's hideout? I need my gooners right now. We this is our moment right now.
I don't like the choice of costume he picked for Zatanna here. I gotta say,
What?
I like the coat. You know,
Full top hat.
I know the top hat's
classic look.
here, but yeah, I don't
Right,
like
but like the whole deal.
It's good. It's a good cover. It's a good cover. I would have made a choice.
Trying to show off that booty, man. Can't be hiding that behind a trench coat.
Sure you can. Constantine does it all the time.
Frequently.
Yeah.
We've also got the Jim Chung Captain America Wonder Woman cover. This is amazing. I love it.
This one's just really cool to see. You know, because Jim Chung is just such an iconic artist in my eyes that seeing him tackle these two together, which this is a pairing that makes sense to me. Yeah, I really like this. If I were to pick up a physical one, this might be one of the ones I'd be thinking about.
Nick Dragotta drew Punisher versus Batman. This looks amazing. I've seen some people saying that this is the absolute Batman, but I don't think so. I just think Nick Dragotta drew Batman the way he draws Batman. But I don't think this is the absolute Batman.
Snyder said it was called Absolute Punishment, is what he titled this
It's
cover.
a variant cover.
I don't know. Feels like the same vibe. Cool. Makes me want a Dragotta Punisher book, that's for sure.
Jenny Frison drew Storm and Wonder Woman. Storm's face on here just isn't great. Like Wonder Woman looks phenomenal. Storm looks like shit.
I like Jenny Frison's art. I just feel like the covers have just been super static lately, where it just feels like a statue. And maybe that's the point. I don't know.
That's Jenny Frison, though. I feel like
Yeah. So I don't know. It's fine.
Damian Wayne and Gambit, drawn by Andy Kubert. What a strange pairing.
Kind of funny though.
Yeah. That big ass Joker.
Big ass cars.
I thought that was genius. That never occurred to me as a possibility. And I love that Kubert did that with this. I was like, you know what? Yes. Again, 2025, the year that I'm warmed up to Gambit. I hate this.
It's just cool. What? We've got a Batman Wolverine pairing by Jim Lee. A pairing that feels a lot more appropriate to be the title book.
Yeah.
But it's not, and that's all right. But we do get this cover from Jim Lee. I've seen a lot of people down on it because of the colors. But I don't know. To me, it looks awesome. What do you think, Pete?
It's okay. It's okay. I mean, it feels weird to say that about anything Jim Lee. I think it's this is middle lane Jim Lee.
Yeah.
It's not too exciting, but it's far from bad.
I feel like there's a lot of empty space on that bottom left corner there.
Yeah, that's a little weird. There's definitely some negative space issues, but I don't know. I think the coloring on Batman is a little bit more dark and shaded, and Wolverine kind of pops too much, like he's flat. But other than that, I mean, it's Jim Lee. There's nothing to complain about here.
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
we've
On
also
this cover.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Alex Lozano gave us Wonder Woman and Captain Marvel in her, I believe this is the binary outfit.
This
I
is
like
the Miss
this one.
Marvel outfit.
Miss
Yeah.
Marvel outfit, yeah.
Now, this is a variant I'd pick up.
Yeah, I bet this one actually has some dynamastis. This one looks good.
Dinosaurs.
It's a Porky Pig ass moment. Jesus Christ. No, this one looks really cool. I don't understand the choice to make it Miss Marvel's costume, besides the obvious reasons. Um, but there's some action in it. There's a bit of a story being
Yeah.
told here.
Yeah.
It's dynamic.
There's the word I was looking for.
I like the big goofy the big goofy gloves. Kind
Yeah.
of they feel so big for her body. They're the size of her head.
Even Wonder Woman's fists are huge in that too.
Yeah, on the closer one to
Yeah.
us, right? Yeah. This one's cool.
We've got a Sean Gordon Murphy variant that is the most Sean Gordon Murphy variant they could have done. It's got Lobo and Deadpool on the cover, with Deadpool saying "Bite me, fanboy." Well, they're both saying it actually, which is pretty funny. I like the idea, but there's just too much going on in this cover for me.
You're right. It's a very Sean Murphy cover. He loves doing this thing where there's paneling on the covers. Like he did this a lot for White Knight. And like he found a way to put a car in there. And Lobo's motorcycle. I think it looks pretty good. I don't like Lobo. I think Lobo looks cool. I don't like the character.
Hmm.
But at least Sean Murphy draws him well.
Yeah, I think this is an interesting layout because of those panels. I do like the text box, the way it's kind of split. And he got his space dolphins. Cool.
And then the last one outside of the blank cover is by Sozomaika. And it's Emma Frost and Catwoman. Now, I told you I'm going to buy 3 covers.
I knew it.
This one isn't in that,
Oh,
but don't listen to me because on the day I might have 4 covers. This shit is fire.
I don't like this one.
what? This is a Snow Bunny cover, dude.
Yeah.
This feels like it was part of, I don't know, Archaea comics on the bottom of the shelf at my local comic shop, you know?
Nice.
I mean, I think it's a shame that Emma's hand and therefore Half Glove is off page,
so
and
right.
I'm surprised Sean supports that.
Yeah,
But
good
You're
point.
so right.
it's it's a good cover.
You make a great point, dude.
Common Sense said, "Oh no, my chat crashed." Do you else thought of inviting Sean Gordon Murphy? He has a YouTube channel. He upped my rent the other week, so I'm not on talking terms with him.
I would love to interview Sean Gordon Murphy. He's one of my favorites. I would have a really good time talking to him. Is he accessible? That I don't know.
Right.
So what are your top 3 covers? Like, I don't imagine you're all necessarily going to buy 3, but if you were, which 3 would you buy?
So they didn't on the page you gave me. They skipped a cover because they didn't talk about the Big Barda Savage Rogue Jay Lee cover.
Oh.
Have I even seen that? Is that
I have it on the stream. That's the one I like. Our Jay Lee hater is gone from the show. Sorry, Cal. I like Jay Lee,
Oh.
and I think this cover is weird. His take on Barda, and it's like the Savage Barda too, and her little bikini thing, is interesting. These guys look like imps in a weird way. I really like this cover, even though there's a lot of just negative space. I like the designs on them. I think it's real stylized. I wish there was maybe an actual background, but I like this one.
It's got a lot of character to it for
Yeah.
what it is. That's for sure.
I mean,
did not
Tyler,
like this cover.
this is number 1.
This is the number 1 for you.
It's Big Barda and Savage Rogue. Of course it was.
Yeah. Easy.
The proportions just feel like Big Barda's head looks too small.
That's Jay Lee for you, though. I think he does a lot of tiny heads.
And I like the flowy endpoints of all of his designs. Like those, that's my favorite parts of his art. The hair, the material, the shoes.
It's a little whimsy to it.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly. Yeah. Wispy, like it feels like air. The other one I was gonna say was the Peyton Sherman one, hands
Yeah.
down. Great pairing, great cover. Uh, plays with what Herman does. With what Sherman does best, the like perspective. And I really like the Bruno Redondo. It's just clean. Clean. It plays with each of these characters' iconic design, and that's all you need.
How about you, Pete? Which three do you like most?
So I pulled it all up on my tablet here, and I didn't realize this until just now that they are releasing a uh looks like a virgin foil variant of the main cover
Huh.
by Dan Mora, and that is going to get my money completely. Um, I I'm not big on variant covers. I do like the quietly one though. That one's
Okay.
good. It's funny. It's got
Oh,
kind of
yeah.
like a Norman Rockwell version or feel to it, you know.
This
Oh
also,
shit, that's right. There's more covers. How did I skip those?
I think I think they're like eking them out, dude.
yeah, I think there's more to come too, and we'll probably have another story is announced too because the Rocket Green Lantern one was announced later for the first crossover. So I think they have more than 4 stories in that. I don't know, but there's also like a double gatefold Dan Mora variant too. That it's a little hard for me to put on the stream because of the sizing of it.
Yeah. Yeah, the whole wraparound cover.
Yeah. Which looks
Yeah.
good. His Deadpool looks very good.
Yeah.
The Frank
Yeah, that
Quietly one is insane, dude.
What do you think they're talking about there? Like,
Deadpool's getting him ready for school.
I guess so. Yeah.
Look at how the cape of Batman hangs on the like wrist blade there.
Yeah.
Like that kind of attention to detail is fucking crazy. For anybody who doesn't appreciate Frank Quietly's art, like just look at that cover, man.
This
Yeah.
opened up the discourse on Twitter about Frank Quietly art, and everyone's just like, I didn't like it at first, and now I love it, and I don't trust anyone who doesn't like Frank Quietly art.
It's just rendered really well. Like there's a lot of detail, subtle touches to it. And it's different from his All-Star Superman stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
there, yes, things were squiggly and rendered, but this you can see the ruffles, you can see the creases, you can see the like the little notches in the gun handle in the katana. Real nice.
I actually like the Sienkiewicz one too. It's an
Mm.
inverse of the Stegman one for Marvel's side. That's just the classic Wolverine Hulk thing, but with Deadpool and Batman.
Yeah. And then, of course, the Crisis on Infinite Earths homage cover by Ryan Sook with Batman and Deadpool on it, which is pretty funny. I don't know why Batman is laughing hysterically as he holds the dead body.
That's the Batman who laughs.
Oh, no. My three are definitely cover A. I always have to get cover A. The Mark Brooks variant and the Jim Chung variant. Those are the ones that I'm going to be picking up.
Yeah, those are good picks. Until you get your
choices.
4th and 5th when the time comes around.
I can't, dude. That's just too much.
Can't and won't are different words.
That's true.
fair.
Very, very true. What are you guys saying? What are the listeners saying? Let's see. Let's see. We know Marco wants it just because of Savage Land Rogue.
Hey, dude.
That's
I mean,
enough.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a good enough reason.
Did you buy
Yeah.
the action figure, Marco?
No, I'm not. I'm not a toy guy.
Fair. It was a 3-pack too. So
Hayden says Emma Frost and Catwoman is the best Gooner cover on the DC side. I don't know, man. The Mark Brooks, I don't know. That one's pretty goonery.
I mean, Hayden's the Gooner connoisseur. So
But I am the Snow Bunny connoisseur.
fair.
We got a super chat from Entertain Me, $5. Thank you, buddy. I would like Laura Cass Batgirl or duo Laura Gabby and
Oh.
Cass and Steph's Batgirl. That would be dope. It would entertain me.
Well, there's
That's
the
what
origin of the
matters.
name. Yeah, I
That's
like
what
those. I
matters.
like those picks there, especially the four yeah stack there.
Common Sense with the 199 Commandi / Kill Raven crossover would be epic.
Oh, that'd be cool. Oh, I love Commandi.
People lost throughout time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Jay Sage with the 499 pound. Where's the Emma Frost / Power Girl? Cowards. I wanted a Snow Mommy special. Hashtag Dr. Umar.
Don't say his name. He'll appear.
Oh my God. Listen, in the wise words of Dr. Umar, Black Queens forever, Snow Bunnies never. That's what he said. I disagree. Jay Sage, that would be a great pairing. Emma Frost and Power Girl. I'm so sorry we didn't get it. Tenant stats: Dan Mora wraparound, Jim Lee, Nick Dragata, Andy Kubert, and Sozo Micah. That's not 3, buddy. That's not 3.
We don't need to count here anymore.
Insensitive to the price there.
Oh my goodness.
My 3 are Dan Moore wraparound, Jim Lee, Nick Dragota. Oh, just read that. Sorry.
Marco
out
just
loud.
reading as well, learning his numbers as well. A lot of
Oh
people
my
like the Jay Lee one. Oh, there is a
Yeah.
Scotty Young one too. I didn't pull it though. It's what you expect. If you like Scotty Young variants, go for it.
I'm not a fan of. I like the stylization, but
I'm tired of it.
yeah, I feel like
Yeah,
I've seen so
yeah.
much.
I want to
Yeah,
see
it
Scotty
had
just
its
do
moment.
other stuff. You know.
Does he do interiors outside of I Hate Fairyland?
Yeah, he did interiors on Rocket, Raccoon, and Groot way back when. It was a very good looking book.
He did a book of his own called it's very recent. It's actually very good too. Shit, what was it called? I don't remember what it was called. But anyway, it was a very good book.
That's not I Hate Fairyland.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, shit, what was it? Anyways, yeah, I think this collaboration is proving to be a lot of fun. I remember when it was first announced, there were a lot of people down on it, but like I think if you're down on this kind of thing, then I'm not sure what it is you read Big Two comics for, because this is comics. Um, and hopefully outside of the candy of it all, there will be some things to sink your teeth into just a little bit. That's my hope.
Yeah, same. And Amalgam 2. That's what I want. Give me some more of that.
If
I
they
love that.
if they tease that somewhere in this book,
Done.
could be
Done.
fun.
Take my
Done.
money.
Well, we do know that they're going to be giving us more crossover next year. We don't know exactly what that will take shape as. But if this has been an enjoyable collaboration between companies, I could see something a lot more larger in scope than this next year.
Secret Crisis.
If they don't get Jeff Johns, if they don't throw a fucking bag at Jeff Johns to come out and do that, oh man,
That's got to be the only thing he'd come back for at this point, right?
if he is contractually allowed, yeah.
Fair. Yeah.
By the way, the Scotty Young book I was referring to is Ain't No Grave.
Yes.
Yeah. Which he didn't draw. That was George Corona.
Yeah.
He only wrote it, but it's so good.
Great.
So good. All right, let's shift gears and talk about Static once again. We're going to talk about Static once again because DC announced that a Batman Beyond Static Shock crossover is coming. Something that I don't think a lot of us could have ever imagined, but it is happening. It is going to be written by Evan Narcisse and drawn by one of my favorites, Nicholas Draper Ivy.
Nice. Hell yeah.
Yep.
What, dude? So Batman Beyond currently is in this timey-wimey spot within Justice League Unlimited.
Yeah.
But cool that they're coming with Static. Like, where's he been at? this is going to answer that question.
I
Fingers
don't
crossed.
I don't think this is in continuity though. It's kind of like in its own thing, right?
Oh, because like the future.
Yeah, because this is like an older static too.
Yeah, I mean, anytime you're talking about future anything, you're talking about something out of continuity almost
Yeah.
every time. Um,
It's a
but yeah,
shame.
it's an older static, which is cool. We don't see that a lot. I've read Evan Narcisse stuff before and enjoyed it, so cool on that front. And I haven't bought a Batman Beyond comic book. Whew, I tried once in the tens, and I didn't love what I read. But I'm going to give this a shot.
I, I'm with you, Sean. Batman Beyond exists as a cartoon and a cartoon alone for me. I've never cared much for him in comics. So like, I'm not too hot on this. I don't want to like shit on anyone's parade. That's not a saying. But it's fine. I think it's neat if you like. I think there's a lot of crossover between these two characters and their fan bases, so I think it makes sense. Uh, and if we check it out for Palace Pulse, I'll check it out. But it's not for me.
Well, they both notably had very good animated series,
Yeah.
so
Around the
they
same
come
time, too.
together from that angle. Pete, is this up your street at all?
Not really. I agree with Tyler, right? Like Batman Beyond is a good cartoon and let's leave it alone. I think Static though, I always felt that Static deserved more attention. In fact, I feel that way about a lot of the milestone characters. I do wish that they used him more in like the current mainstream continuity. It's kind of cool that we see older Static, you know, but I'd rather he was used well in the here and now, you know.
Man,
Art looks cool though. Uh, I hope it does well.
yeah, and Draper Ivory on our Rush, so that'll be cool. I would love to see the futuristic take, especially for a kind of world like Neo Gotham.
Oh yeah.
Plus Batman Beyond, like those fast, speedy lines, that kind of influence that he has, like the manga anime stylings. That's gonna be cool.
Hmm.
They need. I know that. Well, I don't want to say that. They need to throw a bag at Nicholas Draper Ivy and get him on more books. I don't understand why he's not more prominent. Because to me, his art style is one of the few in modern comics that has crossover appeal. I think
Yeah.
that people who love manga and anime can see what he does and go, they can see themselves in that style. One of the only times I have ever shown my friends outside of this a comic was Static.
Hmm.
And these are dudes that love Static as a kid, but there's no Static representation for them anywhere. And they looked at that and they said, oh shit, comics look like this. And they were interested. I think he should be leaned on more.
Yeah.
Agreed. He's an asset that
Yeah.
they're just not leveraging.
Yeah, not enough.
Who wrote the Static series? The last one that came out. I'm trying to remember.
It was Vita Ayala.
Right. Okay. That's right. Yeah. That was a few years ago at this point, man. Where they at?
And Ivy's only gotten better since then.
Yeah.
Because I know at those first issues, I wasn't too hot on the art, but I've seen Ivy grow since that book came out.
Dude, Nicholas Draper Ivy used to sit in fucking McDonald's drawing comics when he was, I mean, I'm going back over a decade ago. I've known of him for a really long time. He is just crazy good at what he does. And I'm so happy to see someone who like I've known of forever making it in the big two, but I just feel like they need to get more out of him.
I
Um,
mean, we've all been there. Who hasn't enjoyed a double quarter pounder while drawing a double page spread? I mean, get some fries, you know. I would love to see this guy draw something that's like young and refreshing, like a Teen Titans relaunch, and get a young Static in that somehow. My God,
oh shit.
just imagine that. Like
Yeah.
that would be awesome.
I love that.
It's
Yeah.
money left on the table, DC. Do it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what the Titans are doing right now, but whatever it is, I don't think it's more interesting than that idea. So
Nah. not at all.
If you want this, you will be able to get it November 12th when it launches. It is an Elseworlds labeled title, so that is that right there. Like, this is absolutely not in continuity. But what that should mean for you is that you can read this without having to worry about what you don't know. So I, for one, will be checking it out. And then we got a couple of new book announcements from the Marvel side of things. Doctor Strange has a new ongoing series coming. We just had the Doctor Strange of Asgard book that wrapped up, which was, fun. And now it looks like we're going to be getting something a little more ongoing and static, for lack of a better term. It's going to be written by Derek Landy and Yvonne Fiorelli, who's coming off of Fantastic Four and did great stuff over there. And Angela is going to be teaming up with Doctor Strange as he attempts to leave Asgard and runs into some trouble.
Derek Landy did the Doctor Strange of Asgard as well, right? Yeah.
He sure did.
Typical Marvel, relaunching with the same writer. New number one.
This one I'm actually willing to give them grace on, because Doctor Strange of Asgard was a mini.
Fair.
So I feel like Derek Landy did a good enough job that he's getting more work with this character, and I'm into that.
I like Angela as a character. And I think, tinfoil hat here, Angela is coming to Marvel Rivals. It's a poorly kept secret. So I'm wondering if they're bringing her more prominence in the comics too, because they know about that. I don't know. That's tinfoil hat. But I do like how she's in this. I think she should be a good character to play off of Stephen Strange.
I think Marvel struggled a lot with Angela and making her stick. I think this has a potential to, land the plane. I have feelings about the Doctor Strange redesign though. I do not envy anybody that's got to draw all those crisscrossing lines. That's a lot. I'm sorry to whoever is involved. Good luck.
I do not like this redesign at
Either.
all.
It's too much.
It's a little aggressive. I'm sure it's only going to stick for like 4 or 5 months though, right?
Yeah. For the simple fact, who the fuck is going to draw this for years on end?
Nobody.
Just Fiorelli until this arc is done and they can relaunch with another number one.
I feel like Doctor Strange's costume is very low-key one of the better costumes in Marvel, at least. I don't think you really need to stray too far from the path on that.
Are you pro gloves or anti gloves?
I'm pro gloves.
Yeah, I like
because I feel like the gloves are symbolic. Like they have a point to them. So yeah.
Yeah. I think his classic costume could use a little streamlining, but I don't. Join the Comics Pals Patreon and Discord, and I will post my version of a redesign by end of the day tomorrow.
Oh, look at that pitch.
Now I have something to draw today.
That's exciting, dude. I was going to say, I would love to see what you would do.
I've never drawn Doctor Strange, so this should be fun.
That's cool.
I always liked the redesign. I think it was the new Defenders that went into Hickman's Avengers, the red and black one. That was a little more streamlined. The silhouette was still there, but it was like, hey, we're gonna. Yeah. There's a lot of colors in Doctor Strange's original costume. Let's streamline what the color scheme is going to be, but the silhouette's the same.
Yeah, that was a good costume. I feel like they've Doctor Strange has had a lot of different redesigns that just never really worked out. The mask, right? The long hair and pointy goatee type things. No,
forgot about the mask.
The mask is not great. Not great.
Oh my god, there was a period where if you bought a Marvel comic, you could not fucking tell the difference between Doctor Strange and Iron Man, and that was so annoying.
That was a thing, right?
Yeah.
Mustache goatee brothers, beard bros, whatever it was.
Yeah.
That was smart. I like that.
This will be out December 3rd. So you want to check out the next stage of Doctor Strange, you can do that in December.
Okay.
The last bit of news that we have here today, and we're not done even after this. We still have to play the GOAT game, so hang around for that. Um, man, the Incredible Hulk was arguably one of Marvel's longest running titles. In terms of number, I think it landed somewhere in the 20s.
Wait, hold on. Marvel's I know you're right on this, but Marvel's longest running titles in the 20s.
Yeah, and it looks like it's ending with number 30.
Right.
So,
yep.
It is relaunching, however, with the exact same creative team, to Tyler's earlier point. This time, though, it will be called Infernal Hulk.
Kind of a cool name, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
And it's one of those situations where if it ain't broke. This is one of the situations where if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm sure something within the story plays into the infernal nature. This is one of those series that now that it's kind of wrapping and going into its next phase, I have the Marvel app. I want to start working my way through it. Because this will be my version of Hulk with PKJ.
I recommend the run. The run's really fucking good.
Yeah.
I really like it. But just like it's the same thing with the Mortal Hulk. And now Mortal Hulk is coming?
Thor.
Thor. Thor. Yeah, that's the one I was thinking of. Like, just let them keep telling it. And Infernal Hulk can be the name of an arc or a storyline. I hate this renumbering with the same exact creative team because, like, just in terms of just keeping it in track is annoying. It's a pain in the butt. And I know it's just a cheap pop, and I hate that I see that.
It's not even out of the realm of reality to just, if you really love the name, you could change the name, but keep the numbering. Because it's just,
Sure.
I mean, okay, Infernal, Immortal, Incredible, big deal. Like, you can just say, all right, now it's the Infernal Hulk. It makes storyline sense for anybody who's been reading the book. I totally get where they're coming from. I just don't think it has to be tethered to a new number one. But Marvel is never going to stop doing this unless it stops working.
And I'm going to buy the book.
That. Imagine if it does stop working.
That would
right?
be
Like,
dreadful.
that would be awful.
Because it's like, I'm going to buy this. But why would I not? I'm not buying it because it's a number one. I'm buying it because I've been reading the story. I want more. I'm into it. It doesn't matter what number it is.
Man.
They're trying to attract people who haven't been reading the story. But then what happens? You come in and you don't realize that actually you're not reading issue 1 of a brand new story.
Yeah.
You're really reading issue 31.
Yeah.
You walk in, looks like something happened here.
It's that Community gif with Donald Glover walking in and the whole apartment's on fire.
yeah. It's like, what did I miss? Okay. and I wonder, like, I wish we had numbers for like hard numbers for these things, because I would wonder how much is actually gained from the 30 to the new number one, and what that difference is, right? Like, what is the delta that they expect? And then I wonder how harsh the in number 2 and 3 the drop off is, if it drops back to what number 30 was.
Well, we can't see the actual sales amount, but we certainly can track that kind of thing via ICV2 and Bleeding Cool. So if you were really motivated, you could take a look at something like the sales of, what's a good example? Like the tail end of ASM, for example, and then look at the relaunch number 1 and see if that popped. You could look at, I would think Scarlet Witch is a tremendous example, because that book has relaunched with the same creative team like 3 to 4 times.
Yeah.
You've given me a new data project to work on.
Oh, you fucking nerd.
Oh, the formulas.
Hayden's Hideout makes our exact point. I jumped into FF with the new relaunch, and that number 1 did not feel like a new number 1. I didn't pick up the following issue. There you go.
But hey, you can say FF had good numbers for that month.
And no matter whether you like it or not, the current Fantastic Four, that's not a good jumping on point. I don't see it. We're in the middle of not only Ryan North's run, but in the middle of One World Under Doom. Like there's just so much going on. It just doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. But that's the way of Marvel at this point. So what are you gonna do?
The Marvel method, one might say.
Yep. To the Marvel method indeed. Chop Harder Alchemist. This makes Unlimited a complete mess. All these renumbers and renames make your search results so painful to find a particular story.
Dude, I was floating back through just even Ultimate Spider-Man. There's like 3 or 4 before the 2024 version. And then the parts that you guys were talking about, like the death of, apparent I don't know if there was a relaunch at some point within that, but it went from 133 to 123 and then like 152.
Yeah, it does Ultimate Comics Spider-Man after the death of, and then I think once Miles comes around, it takes the renumbering back.
No, but before that, but
Hmm.
it's still Peter. It is then Ultimate Comics, Ultimate Comics Spider-Man. Then it catches back up to legacy numbering, and then Death of Spider-Man, and then you go into what you just said.
It's
So,
fucked.
it's so unnecessary. It's so unnecessary.
I'm gonna tell you the truth right now. We have access to Marvel Unlimited. I was so frustrated by the process that Marco just illuminated that I sailed the high seas to read some of this stuff because I was not going to deal with it.
Did you really?
I did because it's like, dude, I'm trying to read Ultimate Spider-Man. There's 50 fucking thousand versions.
Yeah.
Then there's all the individual issues, but I need specific ones, and you can't find that. Then there's current Ultimate Spider-Man, which I don't need to read right now. It was a disaster.
The fan reading lists are so much better than Marvel's official ones. The fact like this whole renumbering thing could work fine in Marvel Unlimited if Marvel put investment into making that work well, but they don't. So now you're left in this middle ground that just sucks.
And I wish they had an ability to like playlist, because you could do that on DC where you can build your own kind of whatever collection, but you can't do that here. You are stuck on the reading guides, and once you leave the realm of that reading guide, it's a free for all again.
Dude, that genuinely the Marvel Unlimited reading experience, I feel like I'm in 2005. That website fucking sucks.
You're reading it on a website too, right? Yeah, their website is even worse than the app. The app is manageable. I actually think Unlimited's a better app. But yeah, that web version's got to be even 10 times worse.
Oh, do you use the web? Oh,
Yeah,
just...
the Marvel.com is a shitty website. It is poorly made.
Do you think you could do a better job, Tyler?
I don't make websites, so no, but I could probably make a better one on Squarespace.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I feel like you could probably do a better job.
it just doesn't run well. It like,
Yeah.
you ever try logging into Marvel Unlimited, then it logs you in, but then it says you have to log back in again?
Yes.
It's poorly designed. I don't know what's going on there.
Just typing in the search engine Ultimate Spider-Man, you don't even get like a majority of the shit you get is not even comics. It's like other stuff, like other Ultimate Spider-Man related material. Like what the hell? I didn't mean to turn this into a Marvel Unlimited bash fest, but it's just hard to understand why it's like that. But Jay Sage with the 4.99. As a massive Hulk fan, I love that we were leaning into the dark demon motif, but hopefully that's not all Hulk becomes. He's such a malleable character. Yeah, I guess we didn't really talk about like what is going on, and for what it's worth, Hulk is in a really good place. Like the book is good. PKJ, Nick Klein are doing amazing stuff. It's been really horror focused, and it's leaning even deeper into that, which is cool. I'm sure whoever is next up will pull Hulk out of this. But PKJ has to go down this road because this is where his story's been going. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is going on with that website. Near says renumbering turned me the hell off from picking up any ongoing. My mind automatically thinks it's a jump off point since it is a new number one, even though it has the same creative team.
And like, I don't think with the way the freaking economy is, I don't think Marvel should be making these jump off points for people. I think it's
not.
It's short sighted. It's short sighted to pop a number for that month. Because like, these are jumping off points for me.
Who says it here? It's not Steve Canaris. I just lost it. Oh, Shu Patel. Always remember, Sailing the high seas isn't a cost issue, it's a service issue. Just to drive that point home.
I think Napster proved that once iTunes came around.
Spotify.
Yeah.
I hate pirating. I'm not into that. But I also like, first of all, I already own every single one of these comics. I'm just not gonna go. I don't have the time to go dig through all that shit to find what I'm looking for. But second of all, the onus is on them at that point to make this experience seamless. That's why, like to Tyler's point, that's why stuff like iTunes and Spotify has done. I mean, the music industry is fucked regardless, but it gave people a way to pay for music that's not cumbersome.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Although that's changing now with Spotify's integration with AI music into their platform, but
I heard
they're
something about
making music to put into Spotify that's AI.
that. Like within playlists and
Yeah.
searches and stuff.
Yeah. There was like a new band from like the 70s that came out with a new album all of a sudden.
Oh, to that degree? I didn't know that.
It was like it's still like it's not a big thing, but there's pieces of that happening.
Holy shit.
They're putting a lot of money into AI development, whether or not it's for Spotify or whatever. But Spotify's companies are putting tons of money into generative AI development.
I'm not going to get on my soapbox about that.
It's not even comic book related.
That's
Sorry.
just a whole other. That pissed me off. That's crazy.
To bring it back to comics on the piracy end, within the DCU app, for anybody who has ever pirated, you'll sometimes see like at the back end, this was scanned or uploaded by a specific logo.
That's not in the app, is it?
I have come across multiple issues where if you go far enough, it says scanned by, and you know, like the Hydra head, which
I remember that
dude,
from my 4chan days. Yeah.
bro, I've seen it. I've seen multiple times
You've seen Hydra in a DC book on their app.
on the app. The back page, it's the white and like blue page, like water looking thing, and then it's
Jeez.
like so they don't even have a database.
They don't.
They went and even pirated their books. They scraped those sites in order to build these things.
They pirated their pirated books.
Yes.
Honestly, fair game. I see no issue with it.
I mean, why not? I guess it's a cost savings initiative. Sure.
What is the Hail Hydra guy gonna sue him? Like,
Yeah.
Right. Imagine.
Fair.
If I see it again, I'll screenshot it and I'll screenshot the issue.
That's insanity.
that's funny, man.
Jay Sage makes an interesting point. My friends in Nigeria don't have comic stores. They still love these characters and won't buy and want to buy comics. Also, it's not like they wouldn't buy if they were made available.
Fair.
I think comics, like, I don't pay that much attention to piracy in other spaces. I'm sure people pirate all manner of things. But comics feels unique in the sense that you could have every good intention in the world of reading comics legally and simply not have the options.
You know, I see that. I think, you know, if you have financial hurdles, you know, life obstacles, and comics is like your safe place, right? That's where you go to disconnect from the troubles of your life. You know, I don't see the same level of harm, right? But if you're, you know, if you can afford the comic, you should buy the comic. If you can afford the movie, you should buy the movie. But that's not the case for everybody, you know. And there's also the matter of accessibility, right? Like, you don't have access to a comic shop. What are you going to do, right? You can go online. Yeah, but you can't afford that payment. Okay. You know, are you just supposed to give up on something that you enjoy? I get the battle. From a creator standpoint, I obviously I'm not a fan of, you know, piracy because that takes money out of creators' pockets. I think when it comes to the big two, that's a different thing. I don't think it does. It's the same level. You're taking small drops of profit from a much larger corporation. It's a little different. You know, I at an indie level, it hits harder, you know? So, it's a tough thing. It's a tough thing. Like there's been times where, you guys post what's on Pal's Pulls, right? I didn't get some of those books, but I love hearing about it. And then I'll remember that, like I get a little extra spending money on comics. Maybe I'll pick up that book a week or two later. Um, but yeah, I think I don't want to say it's okay to sail the seas. However, I can understand it situationally.
Yeah.
This smells like a big topic for a YouTube video, Sean.
Yeah, and I was gonna say, we've talked about this a few times, and the idea that indie creators are impacted by this is not. There's no way to oversell that. Like, forget who exactly it was, but they posted a picture of like their sales for the book, and then they also showed the amount of times it had been read for free on a piracy website, and the amount of piracy dwarfed the amount of sales. And the person was lamenting the fact that if even half of the people who pirated it had bought it, they would have been able to, feed their family, whatever the case was. And that's a real shame. That is a real shame. But
I'm sorry. I do think though that more often than not, it obviously comes down to what's easy. Oh, I can get this thing for free. I got a high bandwidth internet. Let's go. I think more often than not, it comes down to that. And that's not cool.
I agree. So if you want Infernal Hulk and you want to jump on to this story, well, as Tyler said, I would recommend reading the story that's ongoing right now because it's really fucking good. But if you're waiting for the issue 1, that will be on sale November 26th. So you get it then. We have one last thing to do because you guys got us across our goal. Thank you so much for that. We did hit 10 out of 10 on the goal in the chat. And so that means we do get to play the GOAT game. Now, if you're unfamiliar with this, is a new thing we've been doing all throughout Ultimate August, and we'll continue to do as long as you guys enjoy it, where we're going to not spin a wheel, but we're going to have a randomizer that's going to determine which pairing of us is going to have to defend a character and sell you guys on this character being the greatest of all time. So, Pete, you're going to be a part of this, buddy.
Cool.
Hope you're ready.
I'm
Tyler.
Not. All right. We're going to
take it away.
Spin it. And what permutation is it?
Yeah.
It's you and me, Sean.
Oh, God.
All right.
Are we doing a poll for a winner? Is that how this works? Is this a competition?
We could do that. Well, no, because we're teaming up. We're selling it. We're selling it together.
Okay. I haven't played this yet, so.
We'll do 45 seconds each.
Okay.
Yeah, so we did last time. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. And do you want to go first, or should I go first, or should I roll a die to determine?
Oh, we got to bring the die back because it means I go last, obviously.
Fair play. So I'll roll the die right here.
Okay, and then we'll have to roll for the character too. Ooh, look at that keyboard. You got
my man's. Look at that.
Argibib.
Oh, yeah. That is a 3. I'll say I was rolling for myself first. I forgot to say I was rolling for first. And then that is a 2. Get the fuck out of here.
Wow.
All right. Like I said. All right. You're up first, Sean. And you were... Okay. I'm going to proposition something. If we do this competition, do we roll 2 different characters and have the audience pick?
Have the audience pick who wins?
Who was more convincing?
We could try that out.
Yeah, a little competition, a little audience participation with that too.
Put up a poll when you guys are ready with it.
Yeah. So Sean, do you want to know what your character is going to be? And then I'll roll for a different character for me.
Let's do it.
All right, Sean. Like I said, Marvel is in this now. It's a huge bit. You have Ted Cord, Blue Beetle.
Oof. Oh, that's a good one.
Okay. All right. Here we go. 45 seconds.
Wait, should we figure out who Tyler gets?
No, let Sean go first, so that way I can keep the image on the screen while he talks. Yeah.
All right. Ted Cord, Blue Beetle, is one of the greatest heroes of all time, if not the absolute greatest. Now, I'm a big believer that any superhero who has people who want to follow them and take on their mantle has accomplished something really special in the world. They have inspired heroics in someone else. And Ted Kord has had multiple successors to the Blue Beetle mantle. That alone is enough to showcase that this guy is one of the greatest heroes of all time. But what's more, the Scarab, that power, he uses it for good. He uses it to protect people all over the world. I think Blue Beetle really is one of the greatest heroes ever. Not my best sell, but what are you going to do?
Tough one. It's a tough one. All right. So that was Blue Beetle. Oh, God, what do I get? Let's see. Oh, God. All right. I got the Atom.
Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah,
no, I don't like the Atom.
45 seconds starting now.
Ray Palmer, scientist, superhero, all-around good guy. The Atom, it shows one of the best parts of comic books, and it's that the nerdy, brainy guy can be a hero too. You know, Ray Palmer uses his genius to develop a way to shrink down and somehow travel through telephones at some points. That's pretty neat. That's cool. Name another superhero who could do that. Ray Palmer has a fantastic wife who would do nothing wrong too with Jean Loring. So that's another reason why he's the greatest of all time. And even in this cover, which is drawn by the phenomenal Gary Frank, where he is fighting off a chameleon. Like, there's just nothing cooler in comics and more comic booky than shrinking like the Atom.
All right. That's Tyler and I's individual pitches for Ted Kord, Blue Beetle, and the Atom, respectively. Audience, let us know who you think won.
And Jean Loring's fine, right? Nothing happened to her?
Nothing at all.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Nothing at all. Yeah, Shub, that is how it's supposed to be, but Tyler threw in a curveball there, so we went with that.
I like competition.
Yes, I do have the RGBs.
Yeah, you got Ruth Bader Ginsburg over there? Jeez.
Whoa.
Oh wait, no, she's dead.
No. Did you read The Sword of the Atom? That is one of his famous stories. I have.
Yeah, the real sword and sorcery one, right?
Yeah,
that I totally mentioned during my spiel.
That he's on a frog and he's fighting.
Yeah,
Ted Kord was great when he got fat. Very relatable. Wow, Steve. Very nice. All right. We can go ahead and end the poll. The results are in.
Wow.
Sean for Ted Kord, 71%. Tyler for the Atom, 28%.
I'm just saying the smaller number makes sense for the Atom. So I technically win.
It's one way to look at reality.
Yeah.
That is one way to look at reality. Thank you. This game is very fun. I enjoy playing, and I appreciate the fact that I won, although I'm not sure how.
It's because I got the Atom, Sean. That's how.
Well, there you go. Near says I voted for Tyler, so there you go.
Thanks, Near.
There you go. Got one fan.
That's all I need.
I do want to take a moment to shout out the rest of the Palsverse members who so graciously share their time and comics books with us. So thank you to Peter, Living Lightning Electrics, Lucas Heatwave Hallner, Young Dende, DeWoody the Fae Fighter, Shalom, Paladin Warburg, Cosmic November, and Owl Shogunate. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much. And thank you to everybody who tuned in today. You guys are fantastic. Really appreciate the support. Thank you for the likes, the super chats, and everything else. Thank you to Pete Collins.
Yeah.
For hanging out with us, the artist behind the Bardic Versus. Pete, is there anything else you want to let the audience know about where they can find you, what they should be looking for from you, all that jazz?
Sure. I'm on social media like almost never nowadays, but you can follow me anywhere. It's at PAC Illustration, PAC Illustration. Sometimes I drop some art. Sometimes I drop a hot take.
Nice.
I got some stuff that's in the pipeline that isn't quite ready to discuss. However, there is a Kickstarter project. It's called Cthulhu Invades Fairy Tales Grim Fates. It just funded on Kickstarter, but they will be taking late late backers. I did a cover for the first one. This is the second installment. Matsumo and I will have a story in the third one, kind of a twisted version of Hansel and Gretel. Going to be gross. Going to be real gross, I promise. And there's a lot of awesome indie creators on there. A lot of people that are trying to get their art and their voices heard. So give it a look. If you like horror and you like fairy tales, it's a good back for sure.
That's cool as hell.
And I always appreciate coming on here. You guys are awesome. You make my drives home on Thursday nights way more enjoyable than they should be. And I draw every Saturday morning listening to this show.
Cool.
Wow.
And sometimes getting too distracted. But
sometimes you draw the people who are on the show.
Yeah. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
I have shown many people your rendition of me as the LCS sheriff. I
got to get that pin up printed, man. I never placed an order for any pinups after that, dude. But no, it's happening. I'm gonna send Kayla a pinup too.
Hot dog no more.
Hot dog no more. Hot dog no more. No.
I'm sure he'll appreciate it. Man, there is something I really want to announce, but I don't know if we should. We'll wait.
Not yet. We'll wait. We need a final confirmation.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you so much. Thank you to Pete. Bardic versus Pete Collins, the man. We will see you guys on Monday at 1 p.m. Eastern for Pals Previews, Thursday at 8 p.m. for Pals Polls, and then before you know it, we're right back here Saturday, 10:15 a.m. Eastern for the main show, fourth part of the Ultimate Deep Dive. See you then. Take care, guys.
Marco and Sean, you guys got 15 minutes?
Yeah.
The audio fucked on Pal